Hello, everybody. Welcome. That wasn't the start of the podcast. I was just
good because that was terrible.
Generally, thank you.
We could start the podcast.
We could. Should we?
Let's just do it. I mean, it's 8.
Yeah. Fuck it.
It's 8:12 actually.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. This is episode 400. Shut up.
You gotta do it again now.
Shut up. Shut up. This is episode 492 of 4Player Podcast. Today is February 16th, 2017. My name is Nick Henderson. To my right is Brad Simons.
Hello.
Oh, by the way, everybody should be...
I just got an email saying that Sony messed up and they're going to credit my PlayStation Network account 82 cents. What? Am I getting hacked?
Oh, shit.
No, you're getting 82 cents.
So they're like, we weren't supposed to charge you tax for this one thing, so here's 82 cents.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah.
Wow. Exactly.
I think
Anyways, sorry. Continuing.
Oh.
Nolan Hedstrom is joining us this evening.
Hey, everybody.
And Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
Also joining us.
Hello. Hello.
We actually did the sound test
A
before
all the
show.
way.
Wait, what?
I would say.
No, I would say A over T all the way, and I will
That doesn't
fight you.
rhyme.
I don't care.
Guys.
I don't care. This goes beyond that.
This is a pointless argument.
I'm more about the mouth hole.
tits, ass, like it's all.
What the fuck? That's uncomfortable.
Y'all brought it up.
I'm attracted to a woman's brains.
Yeah, me too. They're great. Anyways, perhaps we should talk about video game stuff, shall we?
Yes.
How is everybody doing this week? Anybody see any good movies?
Not well.
I saw 2 movies this weekend.
I saw Finding Dory.
What?
You know,
That's random.
Those are like children's movies.
Yeah.
I love Pixar.
No
Welcome to the
duh.
fucking world.
No. But you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Pixar's are great for the whole family. Everybody loves Pixar movies. They're like highly rated movies, right? Fucking Incredibles. It's amazing, right? Toy Story. It's dope. What I'm saying is, like, Pixar movies are usually fun for everyone.
Yes.
But I watched that first Finding Nemo and everybody's like, sucking its fucking fish dick, right? But, like...
Whoa!
And then
I
Finding
mean,
Dory
if you
came
had
out.
some ketchup, maybe.
And Malia was like, oh, I want to watch Finding Dory. I'm like, fine, I guess. She's like, oh, you don't like Finding Nemo? I was like, and I realized after finishing Finding Dory, is there more so than other Pixar films, there just seem like for
So
babies.
yeah, I will say that yes, Finding Dory is definitely has a lot less for adults than it does for children.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is not. It like because I went and saw it with Bernadette and her parents, and like her mom was super excited to see it, and Bernadette was, and I got there and I was watching, and I was like,
Bro, but Finding Nemo?
For little kids.
No, come on. There's like a scene in the movie where they go to the underseas equivalent of an AA meeting. Like,
It's got some moments.
Like I
is really
think
uncomfortable
Finding Nemo is in the upper.
What is so
echelon.
Brad?
Like, it's no Wall-E.
Brad, Finding Nemo or Planes?
I've not seen Planes.
Neither
is
have I.
I've not
That's,
seen Cars
that's Pixar,
either.
right? Planes
I
is
think
Pixar.
so.
Or is that Disney?
What the fuck is Planes?
No, they
It's a
made
sequel
one
to
about
Cars?
planes.
Yeah. They made a sequel. They made off of Cars. They did a Planes.
I've never seen
movie.
any of
Oh my
those.
God.
I think it flopped too.
Yeah.
If you lived, is it the same world as the Cars?
I think
Because
so.
if you lived in a world where like half the population could fly and you were a car, like wouldn't you just kill yourself?
Listen, let's put it.
I think they addressed
put
that
it
in the
this way.
movie.
I hope they do, because it's bothering me
referred
now.
to as the Fourth
Let's
Reich.
put it this way: no one is gonna watch. No grown person thinks Finding Nemo is their favorite movie of all time.
Oh, shut
But
up.
I could see that like existing with other. I could see Wall-E or The Incredibles. Sure.
Brad is very
Incredibles
uncomfortable
is
with
a
this
pretty good
concept
movie.
of like watching movies that are made for children.
Yeah, they're for children.
Yeah.
It's kind of
But,
like you might really like Spirited Away, but like no one's favorite Miyazaki is like Ponyo, right?
Ponyo's pretty good.
Ponyo's
But
pretty
it's,
good.
it's like
Oh, sorry. Is that not allowed, Brad? Is that not okay, Brad?
Ham.
You know, Moana was a really great movie.
So I will say,
for kids.
on the topic of animated movies, I did see an animated movie this weekend called Lego Batman.
I saw that as
How
well.
was it?
It's pretty good. I liked
God
it.
damn it.
So funny.
It was
So very
enjoyable.
funny.
God damn
You know what I'm starting to realize? Crispy doesn't do anything.
I don't.
Crispy spends all of his time at home trying to figure out what he's going to
Like,
do, but he never actually
Every
does
week
it.
we're talking
Yeah,
about all this stuff we're playing and watching and fucking, I don't know, reading. It doesn't matter what we're doing. Crispy's like, oh man, one of these days.
Yeah.
Crispy, what if you...
One of these days I'll go out in the real world and do stuff.
Well, no, that's the thing. You do that more than anyone, yet you're not actually
Doing anything?
Oh God, they're zeroing in on my secret life.
Or non-life.
It turns out Crispy
How's-
just likes to go to the park and
How's
swing.
Lego Batman?
You know,
Lego Batman's pretty good.
Lego Batman
I will
is
say
pretty
it is
damn
not
good.
as good as the Lego movie.
I saw that for the first time last weekend. Or maybe that was 2 weekends ago. I
I
can't,
really like that
like
one.
I said, I'm having a really hard time
I
keeping track
prefer
of time.
the Lego movie over Lego Batman, but I still thought Lego Batman was very good.
Yes. Pretty damn good. You know what, though?
Oh.
Maybe for kids.
I did watch John Wick 2.
I'm
I
seeing
saw that
John
as
Wick
well.
2 this weekend, and I am beyond excited.
John Wick 2, not so much for kids.
No, probably not. But man.
Although is there like boobs and stuff?
John Wick?
I don't
No
think there are any
boobs.
boobs.
No boobs.
You see a lot of Keanu's bare naked back in the shower.
You do?
Yeah, they show the scenes of he has tattoos.
That's
It's like
Yeah.
a bag of ropes.
Chris Davis is in chat asking it to crash my John Wick date this week. No. Sorry.
Bro.
He
You've
doesn't-
already seen it like 3 times.
He
I'm
doesn't
sure.
want a tricycle.
All right.
It probably wouldn't be too hard to figure out where he's gonna go and when.
Why has Chris Davis not seen this movie? He was like losing his mind to make me watch the first one like a year and a half ago, 2
Yeah,
years
sure.
ago. Anyways, before we get too far off topic here and maybe start talking about video games, there's a few things I would like to mention. One of which being our Patreon campaign. We've updated that. We updated that last week actually, and today, or sorry, like yesterday maybe it was, we hit our first updated goal in Patreon, our $950 goal per month, which means we're going to be putting some new shirt designs in the store for you guys, which is kind of cool. Small little goal for us to hit, but we hit it, and we got some cool new designs in the works. We got one that's finalized. We're gonna get that in the store tonight or tomorrow, so look for that.
Yeah.
But most importantly, if we hit $1,000 a month, we're gonna introduce a new bonus podcast, which are these podcasts we're gonna start doing. We've already done one. We did a spoiler cast of Resident Evil 7 last week. We recorded it in Discord, and we had our supporters on Patreon in the $10 tier spectate the podcast while we were recording it. They can even interact with us and chat with us while we're recording it. And then we make those podcasts available to patrons about 48 hours before we make it live to everybody else. But we're going to introduce a new drinking-themed podcast. You know, kind of in the vein of Cocktail Time, right? You know, we all miss Cocktail Time, but we're going to We're going to kind of bring it back in a way. So we're going to do that if we hit $1,000 a month. So if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/4player. I guess that does connect to our Discord, which, if you're not aware, we have a free Discord server you guys can join. We'd love to have you. There's been a lot of new people flooding into our Discord.
Including maybe Jack? What was
No, Jack is in there. Jack was in there today.
Yeah.
I know, but he messaged the 4Player account and said, what's y'all's
I
Discord?
know, because he couldn't find it, which I'm going to get that on the front page of the site, because that's an oversight on my part, I suppose. But you can find us at discord.gg/4player. Nolan, the girl that was at the Fan Gamer booth at PAX South, joined our Discord the other
Who
day.
was that?
You mean like her name in Discord?
Yeah.
I don't want to. Paris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're terrible.
No, man, I don't want to call her out in the middle. I'm just saying we met her at PAX South, and like a couple weeks later, she was in her Discord. That's pretty cool.
Well, I usually
She
try to-
sold
a lot of
me
new,
an
lot of new
FTL
people.
Charm.
Oh yeah. She sold me that sweet Dark Souls poster that I now want to burn.
Why?
I'm having a really hard Dark Souls week.
We'll get
I'm
it- we'll
having
get
a
to
really
it. We'll
tough
get to it.
Dark Souls week. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
but
it.
with Dark Souls 3,
I know.
right?
I'm not going to take it out on
Don't
my
take it
sweet
out on
Dark Souls 1
Lordran.
poster,
Okay.
but I'm just a little upset.
Don't take it
okay?
out on the best game world in that series. Yeah, I said it. Who wants to fight?
What, you said that really controversial
Who wants to
quote-unquote
fight?
opinion?
Dark Souls is a good game. Come at me,
Oh,
bro.
man. And, this might be the last week I pimped this, but our Game of the Year content for 2016 is out. It's out in the wild. You can catch all of our top 10 videos, all of our top 10 favorite games of 2016, as well as our community top 10 and our top 10 moments of the year as voted by the community. So check those out. You can find them at 4playernetwork.com or on our YouTube channel or our Twitter account. They're everywhere. Go check them out. And where are we going to go from here, guys? Oh, I got a little bit of feedback from
the bank?
our last episode.
Let's hear it, Nick.
By the way, if there's anything you want to chime in on this podcast, just leave us a comment on the post for this episode, and we'll read it at the beginning of the next show. Our first piece of feedback comes from Liam, or Lemur Dragon in chat. He says, "Hey guys, I have a oh wait, he's asking for shirt sizes and whatnot because he wants to send us cool shit. So maybe I'll answer that one. later.
Lemur Dragon.
Thank you, Lemur, for the. Maybe you could have used our contact form for that, but hey, I appreciate the thought.
I am a 2X.
You at least get a shout out on the podcast.
I am a 2X.
I'm a 4X. No. King Carey says also agree that Brad's assessment of Fire Emblem Heroes having no challenge. My issue with the challenge is the gacha model. You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, that's like
The random
Gacha's like the Japanese
draws,
name
yeah.
for like those coin operated toy machines.
Oh,
Basically, you're investing your currency, your hard-earned currency that you can also spend real world money on a random chance of not even knowing what you're gonna get. Could be crap. You know, it's like when you buy the toys and you don't know what toy it is until you fucking open it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's all bullshit.
He says, when I first booted up the game, I used the login orbs to summon a character, and to my luck, I got a high-level Marth right off the bat. That one character has allowed me to steamroll through nearly all the campaign without even thinking tactically or paying the game any attention at all. Just click, drag, wait, and win. So yeah, that game sounds like a real winner. Are you still playing that? Brad?
No,
Okay.
it fucking sucks. I tried and I can't.
You give it a valiant effort.
Also,
Alex,
can I do a Marth rant real quick? Just real quick.
I suppose.
Like, why do people like Marth? This is a character. He's a non-character.
Because he was in Smash.
Exactly. But we've had all these Fire Emblem games since that Smash Brothers with these like lively, vibrant characters. We played their games. We enjoyed their games. They had personalities.
Brad, were they in Smash?
Marth never had a personality because he never said anything in Smash. He shows up a lot as DLC in some of the later games, but because he's DLC and he's not part of the story, he doesn't say anything. So he's like this weirdly mute Fire Emblem character that everybody loves because he's in Smash. And then people like Roy.
Was he
like
in
the
Smash?
same character.
Roy,
Well, no,
Roy.
people still like the other Fire Emblem
That was
characters
a good commercial.
as well.
I
Like
like
people
commercial.
like Crom and stuff, but Crom is just Marth with a personality. Fuck Marth.
Yeah, fuck Marth. Alex Q says, I am excited at the prospect of a Castlevania TV show, regardless of it being Netflix. Wait, why regardless? I think that's like the only thing it has going for it. I feel like.
Irregardless.
No, he says regardless, but maybe it's a typo. I wish TV was an avenue more licenses took instead of movies. In a TV show, you can world build and develop characters where video game movies are often just a cinematic rehashing of that game's story and don't bring anything new or interesting to the table. That's a really good point that I feel like has never come up. Why do they bother making video game-based movies when instead they could do TV shows? Like, I feel like...
Movies are cheaper in the long run. TV shows, depending on how much production value goes into it, can cost a lot of money.
Yeah, but
often the return isn't necessarily as high. It really depends. And if the show gets canceled, you could get fucked out of a lot of money.
Plus, I think this whole idea of like pitching a TV show on spec is becoming much more common now that digital distribution's a thing.
Well, yeah, so that's what I was going
Like-
to say. Now that digital distribution is a thing, it's easier because in the past, when you wanted to do a TV show, you had to find a network. And you found a network that finally would do it, then you had to find a time slot. And the problem is, if you got a shitty time slot, you wouldn't get your money. Like, people wouldn't watch the show, you wouldn't get ratings. And so, I mean, that's why a movie's easier because the movie just goes into theaters.
Yeah.
And people go...
It's
and-
a business decision.
No, it
but,
definitely is.
You know, at the same time, we do live in an age where I feel like TV is slowly creeping and taking over... Like it's dominating the industry over like movies and stuff nowadays. Like look how much like fucking crazy good TV is out there. I feel like there's a lot more conversations going on around.
There's so
quality
much,
television
I
than
don't
there is
watch
about
any of
movies.
it.
Yeah, but this is still going to be bad. Also, fuck Konami.
Why?
Also, Konami's
Why?
doing nothing.
Hey,
Why
well-
is that? Why?
Well, Crispy, let me
Name a video game
Wait.
thing that's not a video game that's
Okay.
good.
Let me answer this with using Crispy's own logic because you said this at PAX South and it applies here.
What?
First thing I saw about this Castlevania thing was that it was going to be done in the style of Game of Thrones. And I remember specifically there was a video game that was being promoted at PAX that was like, it's like blah, 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 Game of Thrones, and you were like, immediately, if anything out there describes itself starts out by comparing itself to Game of Thrones, I tune out.
That's a
and that's
rough
exactly
comparison.
That's such a weird nerd thing to say. Come on, bro.
I just.
But it is. It makes it kind of transparent.
It's gonna suck not
specifically-
because it's trying to be Game of Thrones. It's gonna suck because it's a video
No,
game.
but it's also
thing
it's an
that's not
eye
a
rolling
video
thing.
game.
Like it's like they're not confident enough in their own concepts or idea that they have to. They feel they have
That's
to
the thing,
name drop
Castlevania
Game of
doesn't even
Thrones.
have enough of a base to like not copy something. You know, like you can't be like its own thing because it's
But
not,
even if you are aping Game of Thrones, you don't have to say it.
you Vampire Hunter D. That's how you make Castlevania. Okay, it's already been done.
Yeah, kind of.
Sure. That's
I
beyond-
forgot
that's
about
besides
Vampire
the
Hunter D.
Last comment,
mouth
or
in
last
his
bit of
hand.
feedback this week comes from Self Torment. I don't understand this first comment, but I'm gonna read it anyways. Waifu is the future, Brad. Every game you ever loved will turn into a waifu. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Waifu is the future, Brad.
He needed a comma there.
Oh, why? Oh, punctuation, guys.
Yeah.
Punctuation's important.
It honestly is.
Also,
Waifu is the future, Brad.
there we go. Also, a quick correction: Nioh takes place in the 1600s.
Yeah, I know.
Not the 1800s.
I made that mistake. I understand.
As Nolan said.
Yeah, no, there was no. Trust me, there's multiple mistakes. I'm going to correct myself
Nerds.
on this week
Nerds.
because I had played it just a little bit last week, and they came on the show, and then afterwards, I booted up the game, and it was like 1600. I was like,
All right.
fuck.
That was a very early discussion of Nioh last week. We're going to continue
Yeah.
said discussion. I would say we have more games to talk about this week, so let's not go too crazy into detail. But we do need to talk about Nioh. 'Cause we all well,
I'm sorry.
Everyone but Brad's
game?
played it. Wait,
Nioh?
Chris, you haven't played it yet either. So
God
me and
damn.
Nick have played it.
Nolan and I still are the only people that played it.
Nick, I'm playing other shit. And Crispy's
I know.
going out and standing around.
Yeah, kind of. That's not terribly inaccurate.
Hey,
Oh my
if Crispy
God.
wants to soak up the sun,
He's having like Linklater caliber like conversations with real people out in the wild. You know, so just because he's not playing a video game does not mean he's not living his life.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Do we want to open with I'm
Yeah,
sorry. How did we
sure.
decide we were saying this? You
Nioh.
made me paranoid about saying it now.
Nioh.
Nioh.
Neo.
Nioh.
Oh, sure.
Let
you're
me just
trying
start.
too
Let me just
hard.
preface this by saying, maybe I'll just kind of get this out of the way up front. If you've been watching my stream this week or following me on Twitter, you'll know that I've been having a rough week with video games. Predominantly because I'm playing 2 Souls games. I'm playing Dark Souls 3 and I'm playing Nioh. That's all I'm playing, and I'm going back and forth between them,
So
which is a
one-
bad idea.
When one beats you up and you go to the other one, that one starts beating you up.
I got the
and you-
shit kicked out of me in Dark Souls 3. Decided, oh, now's a good time to play Nioh. Switched to Nioh, and suddenly I couldn't play Nioh. Like I couldn't even. I was having trouble beating like lesser enemies because I kept accidentally using the control scheme of Dark Souls 3, and it's just been like an endless cycle
that
like
can
that
get you good.
all week. But Dark Souls 3 was especially rough with me on Monday. It was I got manhandled on Monday. Was not very happy about it. So I put that game down. But Nioh,
Is it a long run to the boss?
it is not a long run, but it is an annoying run.
I hold on. I will say that I have found in Nioh, unlike any Souls game, it is easier to run from wherever you are to the boss than I have found in any game.
Well,
Are they
I feel like
long
Souls
boss
games.
runs or are they not even that bad?
No, it depends. So some I found that they're pretty short boss runs, but others it doesn't fucking matter. Just running past the enemies is a lot easier in this game.
The thing is, I feel like the character
Good.
Nioh is way faster and way snappier
Yeah.
in his movement. So I feel like I run and move through these levels a lot faster than Dark Souls. But I also feel like, and this is one of my biggest complaints with Dark Souls, honestly, is that the game is already hard. The game is tough, and they still insist on making you run unnecessarily long ways to get to a boss from a bonfire.
Like I said, it depends on the boss. Like I think the second one had a fairly short.
No, I mean
run.
there are instances in Dark Souls where it is not a long run to a boss, but it just seems to me like it's just unnecessary. It's like making it difficult just to piss people off, and that I feel like is really frustrating. Like more times than not in Nioh so far, like it has been very short runs from the save points to the boss, especially if you're exploring an environment well enough. Like the boss that I'm stuck on right now. There is a save point in a secret room you can unlock by finding a key, which you get by exploring the environment.
Yeah.
So as long as you're exploring the environment, you can find things that will give you access to save points that make it really easy to go from save point to boss fight.
Correct.
Good.
Which is really nice. It rewards the player for exploring. Which
No,
is
yeah,
what-
exploration
should be
definitely rewards you in this game. You either by finding kodamas or finding treasure chests, or like you're saying, finding shortcuts that kind of open up, shorter paths and stuff. I find myself most of the time I will run through an area and kill every enemy, and then run back and kind of like take my time a little bit and look for hidden paths and stuff like that.
I'm using my coupon this weekend, guys.
Oh yeah, your
game
coupon the
coupon.
money got you for. I'm surprised you haven't used it yet to play.
He's
I
been
was
I just
working.
working and
got it.
stuff.
I know. I was really surprised you hadn't at least started Nioh yet.
I think
so.
maybe I'm still not going to.
Really?
Oh,
You're gonna use your coupon and not play Nioh.
well, I mean, game ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Accurate.
It really sucks because I got beat down in Dark Souls to the point where just my soul was just I literally had to quit the
This
game.
is a boss.
No.
I
Kind of. This is so that's the other thing. This is a submission in Nioh. So this is a completely optional thing. And this submission is just this one guy, but he's super tough. And
do enemies have a lot of health in this?
it depends.
I mean, the thing is-
most mobs don't. Bosses sometimes they do.
It also depends on what weapon you're wielding, because sometimes you may sacrifice damage for
Well, it's weapon
speed.
and stance as well.
Yeah, that too. But like I'm using the twin blades, which are maybe not as powerful as like
Twin blades
katana
don't
or
do a whole
spear,
lot of damage, but they're
but you
super
do
fast.
You're super fast.
I
and
heard
do
they
it.
have good utility. They have good like skills that can like drain ki and stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Enemy ki.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, this is, and that's kind of one of the things I like about Nioh is these submissions, these completely optional missions, which I take them as not optional at all. I've been doing every single submission.
I think there's 100 in the game.
I should
Holy
probably
shit.
stop then. Some of them are fairly short. Like this one is just this one guy. One submission was literally just fight this one enemy. There are some that are short and there are some that are like lengthy. I would say that the Twilight missions, I don't know if they're counting
haven't done any of
those.
those
Those are ridiculous.
So what are? So I saw that pop up. What are? They're just harder than
a
normal
Twilight mission
submissions?
is essentially, hey, go replay this main story mission with much harder enemies.
Do they give you the same boss?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
shit.
more difficult.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I've done 2 of them. Meh. The thing was, I ended up doing one because I saw that the reward was a hank of yokai hair, which was an item I was wanting for crafting or for forging, and so I did it, and it was the second area. And once I kind of ran through and passed up most stuff, and then I got to the boss, and I actually beat the boss fairly easy. But I had noted that the level difficulty was level 20, and my character was level like 45 or something
Yeah.
like that. So that
So you're
probably
maybe a little over level.
made things
for
a
it.
little easier. Yeah.
Here's a question for like how prominent, like how necessary is crafting in this game? Because I
Forging, you mean?
Forging.
What about crafting?
I won't say it's necessary, but I will say that you can get better items from forging than you can from just finding in the world.
I tried it a little bit, and it's cool, I guess. But like forging and crafting and shit is just for whatever reason just an aspect of RPGs that I've never really been able to get into.
Do you do it a lot in
It's like
Dark Souls?
it's like Brad. No, I don't do it in a lot in Dark Souls either.
man.
Like it's like Brad and stats. Brad loves stats. He lives for numbers. I hate them, and it's just like I love the game. I love the genre, but there are certain aspects of it that don't click with me as well as other people. So I'm just wondering if you have to like forge to be successful.
You do not
in this?
have to. And I will say that I will say that you can get much better items from forging than you can just finding in the world. But you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I will say you can get like armor and equipment and stuff is something that usually the stuff you find in the world is pretty just as good as with crafting. But when you forge it, it usually has better like requirements or lower.
Yeah.
Like I have this one item, the Raging Bull set. It's 10 strength and 10 stamina, I think, to properly use to get the bonus effects from
Yeah.
it. But if you forge it, it's 5 each instead.
yeah.
So it's half the requirements to wear it.
Are you? Can I ask you something about weapon affinity? Mm-hmm. Is it based on like that specific weapon?
Correct.
So I was hoping
that's
it would be like Let It Die.
and yeah, no, and
Where
that's
you're
kind of
building towards a familiar
a
with
weapon
it,
style.
a
And that-
familiarity with like
and-
that genre of weapon.
correct. But I will say that it actually goes up pretty quick.
But how often? How often are you switching to new weapons?
Whenever I find a weapon that's better than my current one, and once again, if you are doing it by just picking up weapons in the world, that would be pretty often. But if you're forging them, you usually can go quite a while before
What?
you
So
find
here-
a weapon that's more powerful.
What about drops? I'm hearing people saying that they're sticking with katana just because it seems like they drop a lot more often than like a Kurosagama.
Dude, I found so many
I wouldn't
Kurosagamas.
say that's true. I mean,
So many.
I find a pretty wide array of weapon drops. But once
I
again,
just hear that the swords. are
I most often use weapons that I have forged
And
because
you can go to like the shrines and you can like sell extra weapons for Amrita, and like I'll go through and I will equip my strongest weapon
and then
I'll
lock
go to
that and then
lock that in, and then I will go to the shrine and I'll sell all my extraneous
So
weapon.
so
armor.
hold on.
I went from 0 Amrita to like 12,000.
So you can get quite a bit of Amrita from selling weapons, but what I will say,
which I wouldn't be doing as much if I
is-
was going to be forging more.
exactly. So the thing is, I don't think you get enough Amrita to make it worth it, as opposed to just breaking down the weapon into materials and then using that material to craft new weapons. I think
Maybe I'll experiment with that.
I would say just like go do a couple of levels, don't sell anything, and then go and do the exact same what you're doing, just like locking down the weapons you want to keep, and then go to the blacksmith and break everything apart, and then look at what weapons you can forge, and you can usually forge pretty good weapons.
That's true, but that aspect of the UI, like where you're trying to sell stuff and break stuff down with the blacksmith, I feel like that's where the UI starts to kind of fall apart. Not fall apart, but like
it's kind of weird, yeah.
Because there's no like select, sell all this. You have to do it one at a time. It's like boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm talking about?
You can select multiple things. Press triangle. Press triangle on each item.
Thanks, game, for not telling me I could do that.
Hold on. Listen to me. Like, I had a 10-minute conversation with chat the other day because one of my biggest problems, besides what I mentioned last week with too many details, is there's so many details and they don't explain them well enough.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know for the longest time that on the overworld map, you could press the D-pad to bring up your items. So like if you were just running around the world, where you bring up your, weapon. Exactly. They don't fucking tell you that. And I figured that out, and then, but the other thing that frustrates me is there's no, I want, a hub, like Dark Souls, where I can just have my character standing. Not fighting enemies. I want to be standing, I want to change equipment, and I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to do that, but that's not...
You could always go back to Firelink Shrine and, look at your character and swap weapons
and so what I often end up doing is, if I really want to do that, I try and get rid of as much Rita as possible, and then I go to just, an early level... and just fuck around in there, and then use the item to back out.
Yeah. You know what I do like? And I thought early on I was probably going to pick my what do they call it where you pick your animal?
Your familiar or spirit?
Spirit
weapon.
So you pick your living weapon.
Living weapon.
I thought I was gonna kind of stick to one, but I didn't realize that you go because
you find quite a few.
When the game starts, you just have the wolf, the shark, and the
bird, the hawk.
Yeah. And then I found the bull, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll try the bull.
Yeah.
They feel different.
Oh no,
they have different effects.
Yeah.
And they're satisfying.
Oh no, they are.
That's probably one of my favorite.
At this
new
point,
additions.
I have 8 now. So eventually you'll unlock all of the starters as well.
Yeah.
You'll get them. I have a bull. I have a bat. I have a Shiba Inu. I have
what is that? Shiba Inu?
Is it a dog?
A dog. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, a puppy. I mean, not necessarily a puppy, but he kind of looks like one.
A vicious,
but yeah, no,
puppy.
you unlock quite a few, and their stats are different enough that choosing one. I don't want to say it's difficult, but you can the reason I stuck with the shark early on was because it had the enemy sense.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm going to experiment a lot with the living weapons.
Yeah, but then I have items now like the armor set I'm currently wearing gives me enemy sense and treasure sense.
Yeah,
which is pretty fucking good. So because of that, I switched to the bat living weapon because I was like, well, I don't need the enemy sense that I got from the shark, and I want to try out this bat, and the stats are very different. And that's another thing I like about this is the weapon sets. So certain set or armor sets, like a certain set of armor, if you're wearing 2 pieces of it, you get this bonus. 3 pieces, you get this bonus and this bonus. And the more pieces you have, the more bonuses you get. And it's similar to Witcher 3. Where if you wore all of a certain set, you'd get bonuses, but every set's different. They give you different bonuses.
This game is so packed full of systems and features and things.
Almost too much.
I would almost challenge, I would like to pick someone who worked in this game, like a developer, and just say, do you know all the systems in your game? Could you sit here and just tell me all the systems in your game? I feel like there's probably a lot of people that could not tell you all these things.
Fucking meat.
It is.
Yeah.
It is meat.
Meat.
It is meat. And I love Dark Souls and I love this game, but there's.
Let's hope we never see the bloodbornification of this series.
I mean, there is such thing as too much meat in some cases. Maybe.
Yeah,
no.
It's called bloat.
I will say
you can get too much.
I don't know if I'd call it bloat yet, because all those systems are satisfying and fun. It's more of there's so much I have trouble deciding which fun I'm going to have.
I think all of the systems are fleshed out, but I think the problem is there are so many systems it tries to teach you them all, but then you forget half of them because you're like, oh wait, what? I forgot about this.
I keep forgetting to spend skill points.
Yeah. It's kind of like me and
I keep forgetting to learn new skills.
Yeah, no, I have so many skill points. It's like me and Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah.
That I completely forgot about Ripper mode.
Yeah.
I just forgot it was
the
there.
funniest thing
and
I've
I
ever
beat that game not knowing about
Some
Ripper
people play
mode.
a game without countering. That's weird.
But no, I think there are probably going to be people who go through this and don't even realize they have like prestige points.
Yeah.
Like it's because
Nolan had to tell me about the prestige points.
Yeah, dude. There's like I said, their chat has told me about things that I didn't know were in this game.
Here's the thing that I've noticed that is maybe missing from this game. Sunlight. Is there any missions that take place during the day?
Yeah, no, there are.
Okay.
Dude, watch how dumb I am right here. I die like really
so
stupid because I
dumb,
keep
Nolan.
hitting my pole on the wall.
I heard there's one of the
Just keep slamming your
downsides to
pole
the
into the
spear.
wall?
Yeah. What?
I heard this one of the downsides.
The downside to the spear is yes, if you are in a tight area, you will constantly be accidentally hitting. You have to switch to the mode where you're kind of more jabby and
What's
less
the other weapon you
swipey.
use?
The hammer or axe, depending on they have a similar skill set or move set.
Yeah. And what do you use, Nick?
I picked my main weapon as the twin blades, but I've been using the Kurosayama way more than the twin blades, to be honest. Just because that thing is satisfying as fuck.
But I've respect. I started off with dual blades and axes, and honestly, I've been using the axes a lot less because I feel like even though I wanted to go spear because it's quick and axe because it's powerful, but I've noticed that the spear is actually quite powerful too. So I've been thinking about respecking and maybe doing a spear / sword.
Man, the prospect
set.
of respecking in a game like this is...
It's not that bad. It
Kind of
literally
intimidating.
just takes every point away and gives it to you as like a big bucket of points, and you just put them wherever you want.
I was thinking of doing spear and Kurosagama just because, honestly, I want to use the two weapons that seem... I don't want it to feel like a Souls game.
The least like Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Well, the spear is... I mean, I guess it depends on what you played in Dark Souls. Like
I mean, they have spears in Dark Souls, but they don't work like this spear.
Yeah, the spears are very different in this game from Souls.
Yeah. I mean...
In Dark Souls, you're like...
The more
very
you
pokey.
play this game, the less it feels like Dark Souls.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's so much.
God, I can't fucking wait, guys, but I
mean, you've been doing a pretty good job of waiting.
Oh, I know. It's only because I've been playing dope-ass shit.
Yeah, it's a pretty dope-ass year so far. I just really... So, the last thing I want to say about this before we move on, because that boss that I'm stuck on, it's a fairly early boss, but it's really... You know, we talked a little bit last week about Key Pulse and how I kind of use it off and on. Mm-hmm. This boss that I'm stuck on right now has, like, really kind of drives home the importance of Key Pulse, because... But if you don't use Key Pulse effectively in this boss fight, which is the problem I'm having... Because for whatever reason, as soon as I go into a boss fight, I forget how to use Key Pulse. Like, I just can't time it right.
You're just nervous.
And hold on, I will say, it's something in regards to Key Pulse, we brought it up last week, and last week I had been looking at the energy around you. I've started looking at the bar more just because it's a lot more accurate than the energy.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate that you have to look at it, but I think I have peripheral vision goes a long way with it. And also you kind of get a familiarity with the timing.
It'd be better if they just had, like, the stamina bar around the character.
I die here too. Watch this stupid guy.
God, you're so stupid,
Let's
Nolan.
fucking
Why
run
did
off
you
the
do
edge.
that?
You ruined the footage. No, it would be nice if it was like a stamina meter, kind of like in the new Zelda, around the character, like on the character or something.
But I will say that the loading in this game is really fast for
good.
PS4. But then watch, this is what I was talking about, bro. Watch how easy it is for me to run back to where I just died. Like I think running past enemies is much more is a lot easier.
is not sluggish.
Yeah, it's easier than I thought it was. And even though they have a decent distance that they'll follow you, if you get out of their line of sight for even they'll like just kind of forget about you.
I feel like in the alpha though they would follow you to the end.
No,
of the
so
earth.
like that's what I'm saying. If you keep letting them see you, if you keep kind of like letting them follow you, they will. But if you just book it, they eventually, and you like turn a corner, they'll just leave you alone.
Also, I think, and we mentioned this a little bit last week, but I'm pretty sure they tweaked the demo quite a bit to make it harder. Like,
yeah,
maybe,
no, they
maybe
definitely.
that even,
the game's definitely
maybe
easier
that
than the
includes
demo was.
like how far they would follow you. I don't know, because that demo was super fucking hard, and I got through that super fucking fast in the actual game.
This game needs a fucking whip.
Whip would be interesting.
I want a game with a good whip.
Sorry.
Yeah, no whip here.
Whips are dumb.
So
Nioh's
I will say,
awesome.
hold on, Nick. There's a boss you're not quite at yet. I think it's the 5th boss.
Will I ever get to it?
You will. That one's kind of annoying because it's like a damage sponge.
Yeah.
And he has one attack that's like overkill. Like I had 1,700
They always
health.
have one.
I had 1,700 health, and this attack does like 2,200 damage. So it would just destroy me. There's a decent tell, but if you like fuck up a dodge, you're just dead.
It's so funny how in like Dark Souls and Nioh, like like people's experiences with different bosses can be so varied.
Yeah.
People were warning me that like all over, like oh my
About
god,
the second boss?
Yeah, the bat lady.
Yeah.
Beat her second try.
Yeah.
Like, and then this boss, which I feel like probably not that hard.
This one
I'm
this
just
one was
struggling.
in the alpha.
Really?
Or the
second,
alpha. Yeah.
the second
Yeah,
level.
well, what I was saying is like it teaches you the importance of key pulse, because if you don't key pulse if you let it go for too long without key pulsing, like the entire map is covered in that yokai bullshit.
Yeah.
And it just drains your stamina. You do less damage, and it's just like it just makes it worse and worse and worse. And at the same time, you're trying to dodge lightning strikes, but you're running out of stamina faster, and it's not regenerating faster. So it's just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
So
a vicious cycle,
Key
yeah.
pulse, key pulse, key pulse, key pulse. That's all I'm gonna say.
Key pulse is key.
Key pulse is key.
Stamina is key.
But unless there's any objections, I say we move on from Nioh.
I agree.
We'll be talking about this more because Nolan and I will keep playing it. Hopefully, Brad and Krispy will at some point in the near future play it.
I've been playing.
If
other
Krispy
things.
decides to do something with his life.
Dude, you know what I've been doing? You know what? This isn't the only thing I've been doing,
I've
but
been
a big
bird
chunk.
watching. I'm really into bird watching.
I'm really into ornithology now. Yeah, no, I've been
Brad, that's bird
preparing
watching.
Curse of Strahd for us.
I know.
So
You've
y'all
been-
just fucking shut up.
Yep. Crispy brought us notes today,
Homework packets.
Yeah.
homework packets. Yep, for
Will this,
D&D.
will this be on the final?
By the way, we
Yes.
are. If y'all have been
This is the
paying a lot
kind
of
of final
attention,
though where if you fail, you die.
not only is 2017 going to be a great year for video games, we're going to be doing D&D, and
Yes.
Crispy has obviously taken it upon himself to be our wonderful DM, and
Looking forward
he's
to
very
it.
excited about it. So yeah,
Looking forward to it.
But Crispy, you're
Yeah.
not here to talk about D&D. You're
No.
here to talk about video games, and
I
I hear
could
you've
talk
been
about
playing a video game.
I've actually been playing a video game.
Oh my god!
Oh
and
my
that game
God.
came out. When did it come out? Yesterday? Wait, what day
No,
is
it
this?
came out several weeks ago. It's called Yakuza 0, and it's a very highly rated Yakuza game.
Well, we've talked about Yakuza 0. I want to hear about the other game that's brand new.
Yeah, this came out 2 days ago.
Tell us
I've been
about.
talking about For Honor,
Holy shit!
Ubisoft's new multiplayer weird thing.
Yep.
Because Ubisoft really likes weird multiplayer games.
Yep.
And I love them for that. I love that they have these ideas for kind of, off the rails multiplayer experiences that like not a lot of other bigger companies seem to really chase after. I just hate that it's Ubisoft that's having these ideas because the way they implement them is usually really just gross and skeevy.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a little bit of For Honor. Call it, I don't know, 5
You're
hours.
playing this on PC or
6 hours.
console?
This is PS4.
Okay.
Yeah. I just rented it from Redbox.
Oh, okay.
This game's weird
Yeah.
because I don't know if I like it. I've played a bunch of it, and I don't know if I like
Have
it.
you been playing with anybody you know?
Yeah.
Carlos?
Actually, last night during my broadcast, Carlos, Joseph, and I were playing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for
I know Joseph was
about
playing.
3
Joseph
hours.
was talking about it pretty
You haven't
highly.
played
Yeah,
it with-
Joseph.
I was
Joseph's
actually
really
going to ask you
into
if you
it.
had,
You haven't played it with
Joseph.
Thomas Middleditch?
No, I haven't. Okay. Have you got his screen name?
No.
Can you pass it along?
Hey, Crispy, have you been getting wrecked?
Son.
Dude, most of my broadcast yesterday was us getting murdered. Was us just getting absolutely wrecked. There's a lot to keep track of in this game while
So you
you're
dove
fighting.
straight into multiplayer then?
Well, my first night I had the game, I played about 2 hours. I played about an hour or two of the single player. So like I don't know, 7 missions or something of the single player.
Yeah.
And that is pretty basic and straightforward. It's just like it's just a level that you run through killing people,
Yeah.
and they've got a loose story that is
They actually
actually
let us try that story mode at PAX or E3. Or
Yeah,
something. I
yeah.
can't remember what it was.
Rise,
Yeah.
son of Rome?
it's this weird kind of conceit where like sections of the ancient world like England and sections of Japan and sections of Scandinavia were kind of like lifted up in this cataclysm and now are basically on a war world. And about 1,000 years after that happens, this is like those 3 cultures are still on this war planet fighting each other, but nothing's changed. They've just
So
been
it's-
locked in like an endless war for
So
1,000
this is actually a
years.
science fiction game.
Yeah, but they don't they show it happening, but they never really acknowledge it or talk about it.
It's
or
more of just setting up some weird
it's
conceit
just
to bring them all together.
it's just a contrivance for here's a world that has Vikings, Vikings, and
Vikings, Vites.
Vikings, Vites, and yes, Knights, Vikings, and samurais.
Oh my!
In the sequel, they're gonna have the Native American, the African warrior,
You're like a Roman legionary,
the
or
Roman
something.
legionnaire.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest,
It's-
this is going to become a franchise.
God damn, I don't know really how. Oh yeah, look at me just get absolutely murdered by a couple of people
Yeah,
right
this
here.
is bad footage.
It really sucks because it's like this is a game of teamwork. Like if you get caught 2-1, like you're gonna have a bad time. They do kind of allow in the blocking mechanic for you to kind of block off attacks from 2 different opponents at once. But there's a lot of visual cues that you need to keep on top of in this game to be successful, and it's throwing a lot of visual information at you, not just in the character animations, but like in the HUD. So you always see that sort of like 3-directional
Yeah, you're
icon.
switching between stances, kind of
Right.
kind of like Nioh, right?
Right,
But it's
You-
like right, left, and
right,
up,
left,
up.
up.
Yeah.
Right. And the idea is that if
It's like
somebody
essentially rock paper scissors almost like.
kind of, but then they start throwing a lot of bullshit in it that kind of like breaks that. But yeah, basically the conceit is that if you're holding in like left position and somebody tries to attack you from the left side, you just automatically block it.
Yeah.
Unless they're throwing.
So you're trying
up-
to guess, preempt their attacks.
Right, but it's telling you. It tells you exactly where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Like when somebody attacks you, it has an arrow that says they're attacking from above, they're attacking from the left, which sounds like, oh, that kind of makes it a little easy. Oh, that kind of sucks. That kind of ruins the experience. I don't know how you could do this without that though.
Yeah.
It's hard enough just like
Yeah, it was tricky. When
it's
I
hard
played it.
enough just matching that when the game is telling you specifically like block now, block here.
You're good. Calm
Okay.
down, killer.
Block over there. You're like it's difficult trying to parse out a lot of what the game is throwing at you.
Yeah.
And it's a tough game to get into a position where you understand what's going on and you start to like get a feel for things. And it's not one of those games that's necessarily like fun while you're learning, you know? Like while you're trying to pick it up and you're just getting murdered over and over again, it feels like
Frustrating?
It feels really frustrating because the feedback isn't such that you really understand why you're dying.
Yeah.
You know? Like I don't know, did I just fuck up my block on that or did the game glitch out? I have no idea what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
Once you start kind of sussing it out a little better, it's a little more entertaining. Like once you realize what works, once you realize that like, oh, this guy must be new because he never switches out of right position, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck him up.
Yeah, it gets a little better.
I got the noob over here.
And another big aspect of the game is there's all these different there's all these different quote unquote heroes that you can play. So each faction has 4 heroes. There's like the sort of adaptable, you know, pretty good at everything hero. There's the high defense heavy hitter. There's a quick agile like counterattacker, and then there's like what they call a hybrid character, which for each of the 3 factions is like a polearm wielder.
Why are you playing as a knight?
And they
I thought you'd be a samurai.
Fuck, I thought you'd be a Viking.
Well, you've been watching all the Kurosawa films, you know. I thought you'd be all like into samurai.
my 2 characters in this game are that knight, and then there's like the light samurai character I've been playing as. Is like I was wrecking shop with her last night.
Who are the
Her.
who are the alt?
Oh yeah, you can most of the characters you can alternate between male or female. There's a
That's
couple
cool.
that are gender locked, but
Who are the alt right favoring? I heard there's like
the
some
Vikings
sort of,
probably.
all the alt right controversy.
Probably. If
Wait,
you,
you weren't kidding? You were. That was a serious question.
Isn't there like an
I-
alt right
I
controversy?
hadn't heard
What's
anything
going on with
about
this game?
that, but
Okay.
but
Well, never
Yeah,
mind.
I'm
then.
not up to speed.
if I
with
had
that.
to guess, I would say probably the area.
You know what I liked that what stuck out for whatever reason what stuck out with me when I played this game
Yeah.
way back in the day. I like the sound design in this game. Like there's a lot of like the clinking and the clacking of the shields and the run and like hearing your armor jostle around when you
Yeah.
run. I don't know why. Like I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, this
I had
game
some
sounds
pretty
really
good
good.
Foley artist on this
Yeah,
game.
there's a lot. Like I'm so focused on the UI that like I don't even notice anything.
What is the like what's the flow like?
So
what do you do
what
missions?
you guys
and
are looking at here is called Dominion. This is like the main default
mode.
multiplayer mode, and it's 4 players on each side. and it's basically control points. There's 3 control points on the map, but you also have creep. You have like MOBA style creep. Like you have armies that you're fighting in the mid stuff, and you running around killing the other team's minions allows your creep to move up into like the main.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a fucking MOBA. It's a fucking MOBA. Right down to the fact that every hero has like
So those
4...
are those lines you've been passing? Those
Yeah.
lines are okay.
Yeah. So this, like, on this specific map, the main area, it's basically a battle on a giant bridge, and there's like control point B, like the center control point is the bridge itself, and then like off to the side is like A and C, and the whole idea is just to hold those as long as possible. You earn points by doing that, and then the way the game flows, once one team hits that point limit, it's not like they won, which normal control point like first-person shooters would do. What happens is, at that point, the enemy team goes into a state called breaking, which means they can't respawn if they die. So if one of the enemy heroes that's on a breaking team goes down, the only way for them to come back is for somebody to resurrect them, which is really tough to do when people are trying to kill you.
So at this point, do you literally just keep playing the game out until the other team is eliminated?
Yes. At that point,
cool.
but that team, if the breaking team, like the control points are all still active at that point, so the breaking team can still run around and capture control points and quote unquote break the other team, and then if that team goes into breaking and then they all die, it's basically like whichever team all dies in the breaking phase first.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can actually have matches where you win, but the other team had more points. It's really weird.
It's like Quidditch.
Yeah. Kind of. Well, yeah. They don't all, no. The winner of Quidditch always has the most points. It's just if you catch the golden snitch, you probably have the most points.
But if you don't, you could still lose.
You could, but that would be really weird, right?
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. No, what? No, what? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
I just love that I threw Crispy off.
That doesn't
so
work.
much.
Crispy's thinking about
God damn
snitching
it! God damn it! It's a MOBA. That's what I was trying to say. Like right down to the fact
It's a
that
really
like every
fancy-looking MOBA.
hero character even has like abilities and like upgrades that they get by killing enemies. So like you're leveling up your hero throughout the course of a match. You've got creep. You've essentially got lanes.
All
like,
these terms are kind of foreign to me because I have like little to no
I
experience.
figured
with
you'd be
MOBAs.
familiar with creep.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you guys today?
I don't know, man.
You thinking I'm a
But
creeper?
but it's a weird game. Once you start getting the hang of it, it's fun and it feels really good to kill people in this game. Like it feels kind of accomplished. Like you kind of have. Some people are gonna roll their eyes at this, but like you do kind of get like that tactical like Soul style combat. Like you'll in the middle of like this crazy fight, like you might be off to the side and encounter like one enemy player, and like the two of you just kind of do this like really slow dance, like this little duel of like
I remember
switching
I
positions.
I experienced that when I played the demo.
Yeah, it's like there is a tactical quality to the combat, and every character has their own like combos, has their own like attack inputs that they can do that do different things. So you get this like kind of a fighting game element to it. Fuck, I wish this wasn't an Ubisoft game.
Do people
though.
really fight with honor?
No.
Or is it like you're dueling and then some other asshole runs in?
Oh,
like,
all the
No,
fucking
yeah.
time.
There is no honor in this game.
Which
Dude.
is you know
Yeah,
the
it's
definition of irony
ridiculous.
here.
Like I got we were playing like a deathmatch fight the other night, and the way deathmatch in this game works is they pair everybody off.
Yeah.
So it's like you like 4 people on your team, 4 people on the other team, and the match starts with like you in a one-on-one fight with one of the other people. But these are all happening around the map. So like a lot of times what people do is they'll immediately just like break away and run and try to find one of their buddies who's fighting somebody else so they can team up on somebody, kill that guy really quick, and then the two of them can kill the guy that's chasing the one dude that ran over there.
dishonorable.
And we did that. We were doing
Sounds
that in
real
one match.
honorable.
Yeah, we were doing that in one match where like I was able to break away really quickly because me and the guy that we were fighting on a bridge, and I just pushed him off the bridge.
Nice.
And just ran away.
Now, is in the at the end of the day, is For Honor? I still don't have because they let us play like a portion of the story or something when we played at E3, and is this going to be kind of like Titanfall was, where like the first game had like a tiny bit of little like story to inject it in just to kind of give it context, but it's but it's 98% like a multiplayer focused game.
I mean, it's
or
definitely
is it more substantial than
it's
that?
definitely focused much more on multiplayer.
Yeah,
It's not like the first Titanfall in which you're just playing like
multiplayer.
bot matches.
yeah, you're not really doing that in the single player. The single player has like a campaign that has missions. You play
characters.
through each of the heroes of and there's a campaign for each of the factions too.
Yeah,
I don't know how long they are. I don't know. Like
would be
so far
curious.
they're kind of cool, but they're not like super substantial or difficult or anything like that. But you do earn XP for playing those missions, and you can play them on higher difficulties to earn more XP. You know,
because I do want to play this game, but I feel like if I tried it, I would be trying it ultimately so I can dig into that single player. But if it's not really worth it, then I don't know if I'm.
the single player's got kind of an interesting story. It's I've only played the knight because that's all. Like you start with the knights and then you move on from there. But the knights are all about this group called the Blackstone Legion or something like that, and they're basically like of all the kingdoms of the knights, like there's this one legion that's just kind of like going around conquering everybody, and it's about like all the heroes are. It's about all of them being recruited into this Blackstone Legion. So like the tutorial mission that we played at E3 was the Vanguard or the Warden character being recruited, and that was the one where you're like a grunt. Part of this force that's defending an outpost, and the Blackstone Legion comes and takes it over, and then at the end of the fight, the leader of that Blackstone Legion force challenges the leader of the fortress's defenses to like a duel. Is like, let's just you and me,
right.
let's fight it out, the winner wins. And that dude doesn't want to fight him. He's like, you're too fucking good, no way. And they're like, okay, we'll do alternatives, and you get selected as your commander's alternative, and when you fight him, the other dude's like, you're pretty good, and knights you and says you're with us now and takes you with them.
Yeah,
like
that's right. See, I remember that, and that seemed kind of interesting.
yeah,
too.
that was cool.
But like you were saying, Nick, I think this game is definitely going to have less story and more multiplayer,
definitely
which is
more
unfortunate
multiplayer,
because I think with this, you know, the game has the potential to have a good story.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
with
look
this
at what
universe,
happened with
but,
Titanfall. Like,
Yeah.
like the same thing could very easily happen here. Like, especially if it's already starting with a stronger story
Yeah.
in this one than Titanfall did. So, you know,
Well, I mean, and this is an Ubisoft game, so they're like
They're gonna
they're
franchise
making
this
their
shit.
money. They're making their money out of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like you can already. It's a $60 game, and they have transactions as high as $100 in the menu. $100 to buy in-game currency to buy the currency to unlock the random draw packs of gear, because there is a shit ton of stuff to unlock in this game. Every piece of armor for every character can be changed. Every, like, your sword, you can switch out the blade, the hilt, and the guard on it for different things, and they all do different stuff. They
didn't know
all
you could do that.
They all boost your stats and everything like that. It's all really customizable, which part of me really likes, but the only
can you
reason why they're
unlock all
doing
shit
that,
without paying money for it?
yeah, the only reason you earn it by
But you
playing
can
the game.
pay to unlock it
But you can
faster.
pay to unlock it immediately. It's kind of like Splinter Cell, like Assassin's Creed, like any of that stuff. You can go in if you spend enough money, you can unlock everything like right away. All the feats that you have to earn for your characters, you can pay to just unlock them immediately, and that's kind of a big deal, because that determines the different abilities and the different like power ups and things that characters can do.
Can't that
in a map.
unbalance the game like, when you're playing multiplayer?
Yes,
Fucking A.
absolutely. That's
Fucking
exactly
A.
what it is. It's a game that you have to pay $60 to buy, and then have the option of paying to win.
That's kind of the Ubisoft way, right?
Yeah, that's why I say I really
Rainbow
like
Six Siege had that
I
edition.
really like their multiplayer ideas. I hate that Ubisoft is the one having them and embracing
It makes you
them.
feel any better. I've always felt this way about Ubisoft. I love Ubisoft games. I also hate that it's Ubisoft games that I love.
Yeah, it's real. It's real greasy. Like when you really like break down the business
Nice
model
and
of these
skeezy
games,
and
it's
greasy.
just fucking greasy, man. But it's an interesting game. I just really hope that Ubisoft would focus more on just like balancing game mechanics than they would on microtransactions, which, you know,
Yeah.
maybe they will. I just think that the game needs a little bit of work. I think some balancing issues or some sort of like maybe even just like solidifying their netcode a little more like might help with a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing. It's an interesting game. If
Well, I'm glad you played it.
it's, I don't know, you remember Chivalry?
Yeah.
I really like Chivalry. Like that was a
pretty
fun
good.
game.
Does this game have a run and scream button?
It doesn't.
Pass.
It doesn't have.
Fuck
It doesn't have a screaming.
Pass.
Nope,
There are characters that have like abilities that's like you can scream and it'll like stun people.
Yeah,
and
but
then
you can't
like,
run while screaming.
Right, you can't. There's no button that's just like a wonderful like like while you're running with an axe over your head.
That
Would be
dope.
so cool.
That would be dope. Okay. Well, thank you, Crispy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brad,
Yeah.
would you like to... We're coming up on 56 minutes. Should we take a break and then talk about Berseria, or would you like to talk about Berseria?
I don't think I'm going to talk about that long.
All right, then tell us about Tales
So
of
the reason I have
Berseria.
not been playing Nioh is because I've been playing a lot of Yakuza and especially a lot of Tales of Berseria, the new Tales of game, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago.
We didn't have footage at the time, though. No,
Well, we did actually.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I believe we have footage. It'll pop up here any second.
In
now.
about 30 seconds.
You
Anyway,
guys seen any good
Tales
movies?
of Berseria, go.
Tales of Berseria, go. Well, hey, ask me anything.
This game looks a lot like Eternal Sonata to me.
It looks a lot like, hey, because it is an action RPG.
Yeah.
I would
It's
say
been a long time since I've played a JRPG, like a action JRPG. like
Yeah.
this, so
I mean, these are kind of always been like, I guess, the cream of the crop when it comes to the action JRPG. The battle system's good here. I finally kind of started figuring it out. You got to play a lot of these games to where they really get moving in terms of the combat. And I made that top hat. Like I did the
Is that the tallest it can be?
yeah. I did the waitering.
wait, did you dress all
minigame.
these characters?
You can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Is that
one
why
of
they
the-
look poorly dressed?
poorly dressed.
They
It's
look
like
styling.
it's like why else would you play this game?
Whoa,
Nick?
easy, buddy. I mean, the little guy. So the thing is, there's only 3 ladies.
That's not enough ladies.
So I can't make a full party of ladies in this game, and it's such a bummer.
Wait, what's the last party? 4?
5.
It's 4 on the
4.
field at a time, but it's so easy to switch out your characters that it's almost like you're playing with your full party, kind of like Final Fantasy X or something,
That shit was rad.
but even more like rapid than that. I put that.
I feel like the days of like RPGs that make you pick and choose characters should be over. I love RPGs where you can literally have
My
know,
only problem
teammates
is
coming in and out
is
at will.
games like Persona 4, which I'm kind of playing in the background, where if you don't bring a character in the battle, they don't progress at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you
it's
don't
old
use them
school.
enough, they end up like being shit later on, and they almost
That's the
you
same problem I
can't
have
use
with a
them
lot of
anymore.
I bet you're not
classic
going to have that
Final
issue in
Fantasies.
Persona. I mean, you can't forget, like, Persona 4 is old as fuck at what.
No,
at this
yeah, that
point.
is. It came out in what, 08?
Yeah.
I really
So,
want to know how Persona 5's going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
What is wrong with the way my characters look? I think they look.
I mean, they
fly
just
as
don't look
fuck.
like they dressed themselves.
What are you
They
talking
didn't.
about?
Brad dressed
They
them.
don't. Yeah. It looks like some lame dude in his 30s dressed them.
But I finally got all my characters, and I find myself playing other characters more in this game than I do in most other Tales games. Most other Tales games, I kind of just stick with one character and never really change. But in this one, I'm playing all the ladies, and I'm even playing a caster. I never play casters anymore. I never play casters in Tales of games, but I feel like they've really kind of figured that stuff out and made them fun to play. The only problem is I love playing Magilu, who's the spellcaster that I like to use, but like her best attack, you spam it a lot to kind of set up your combos, the spirit drop or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the thing she yells when she casts it is so loud and annoying that I'm spamming it, so she's like. It's hard to even understand what she's saying, and
Kind of like that stuff you were watching when I got here.
yeah. Wait, what was I watching? Go ahead.
I was gonna say it sounds like Brad doing. Never mind.
But yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. But I'm kind of getting the hang of it. These are such long games, and they take a long time before you really kind of get into the groove of the battle system. And I feel like it's
How
finally
long have you spent on this game so far?
about 25 hours. But I'm kind of splitting my time between this and Yakuza, which I'm about, I don't know, 10, 15. But man, I'm really liking this game still. These characters are good. The dudes in the party are like kind of cool and grown up, and the ladies are like pretty tight and there's like only one little annoying kid, but he's not even that annoying, and he's like pretty central to the story. And you have all the guys going up to the little kid going, "Listen, man, let me tell you some things about women," because he's all trying to figure out the world and whatnot. And
Trying to get his Mac on.
Trying to hit on the ladies.
yeah, and the story's surprisingly good. It's not all like confusing like some of the other Tales games. Like I still don't know what a Blastia is from Tales of Berseria, but in this one it's a pretty simple revenge story. And like the main character, she's kind of an asshole. She's like at the very beginning of the story, you see your brother ritualistically killed by someone who raised you, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna make it my life purpose to kill this person, and I don't care who's gets in my way or what I have to do to achieve my goal of revenge, but I'm gonna do that. And everyone like in your party's kind of like, geez, you're kind of like, I mean, it's kind of fucked up. But she's like, I don't give a shit. I know it's fucked up.
Is that CeeLo Green?
This is the game you mentioned, right? With the character who has a sword that he refuses to use.
Yes, he still has not used it.
Okay,
but it's actually funny. He's fighting a dude who's like probably kind of important to his story. This thing is a sword breaker, but anyways, but there's still some like really good moments. Like Tales of his games are like surprisingly good at if you can get over the occasional anime tropes, like really good at telling a story. Like I didn't understand at first why this little boy character, like in all the promotional material, and I'm purchasing. Okay, so this character's name is Laphicet, and which is the name of her brother who dies at the very beginning of the game. And I knew this character was going to be called Laphicet because of all the promotional material and trailers and stuff and everything in the game. Like, oh, you unlocked an outfit for Laphicet before he was even called Laphicet. And I'm like, why is this character going to be called Laphicet, which is the name of her little brother? I'm like, is this a spoiler? Is he actually her little brother? It's not. But like the moment.
Spoiler.
Well, it's not. Well, I mean, it's just not her little brother. Her little brother gets fucking killed at the beginning of the story, right?
Spoiler.
And no, that's the very beginning of the story. It's her motivation for revenge.
God damn it!
But like the scene where he actually gets named Laphicet was kind of an interesting one. It's basically she has like a PTSD moment and just kind of like names this character. And like I played this game up to this point going like, how is this gonna work? Why is this character called Laphicet? Then all of a sudden it happens. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. And it was like a good moment. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good moment. It's a pretty interesting story with good characters, and I don't know. It's a great
Gravity
Tales
Rush
game.
2 taught me how to get over some of those anime tropes. Like that was my biggest problem going into Gravity Rush 2 is like I'm just not a huge fan of anime storytelling in a lot of cases, and Gravity Rush 2 kind of rubbed me that way at the very beginning, but it had enough charm and it had enough moments that were good moments that I kind of eventually saw past that, and I enjoyed the story for what it was.
Exactly. When it's done well, the good thing about anime is you spend so much time like with character development that it doesn't matter how corny it seems at first. Like eventually you start liking Sasuke.
I can
Eventually you get the Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
I can name one anime video game I didn't like the characters at the end of the game.
By the end of the game?
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, but see, that's a game that actually didn't have much of like character development and scenes that make you really.
It didn't have any at all.
Exactly. But y'all played a BioWare game, right?
Yes.
Like Dragon Age, Mass Effect. The reason those are so good is because of the moments where like your characters are interacting with each other. And you're like, oh, these are my brothers. These are my sisters. I love these characters.
You want to do everyone's loyalty missions.
Guys,
and everything.
this is what is the strength of the Tales series. It kind of like the shit BioWare does pales in comparison to the amount of like fully voiced like scenes you get of your characters interacting with each other, which is constantly throughout like a 60-hour game. It's impressive.
Nick just remembered Mass Effect's about to come out.
Zelda and Mass Effect next month.
Yeah.
Next month?
Yeah.
Next fucking month.
Yeah, not just those.
Dude, Zelda's in like 2 weeks.
Also, Nier is also in like 2 weeks.
2 days after Horizon, which is a game that I'm super
Nier as well is
March
early
3rd.
March.
Yeah, dude, March is stupid.
It's February 16th.
March is stupid.
Shit.
I'm just gonna take like a whole week
Also,
off from work. Fuck
Persona.
it.
Persona.
That's in April.
April. Yeah.
I know, but like that's
I
very
have one
soon.
more
So-
month to finish Persona 4.
Why is your samurai guy wearing a headset?
I put it on him. It's kind of like my homage to Scalebound.
Oh, that's so.
I was
that's
gonna clown on that, but that's actually really sad.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I can't make fun of it now. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, right. All right. Well, I think we're gonna take a quick break, guys. When we come back, do we have any other games? Yes. Yes, we do. We have another game to talk about on the other side, and we have a bunch of questions from our supporters on Patreon. We have a little bit of news to talk about, and yeah. So we're just gonna take a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You know, I kind of regret not playing that Dragon Quest Builders game.
Me too, dude. I fucking wanted to. I
was
said I
cool.
was gonna buy it from him, but they sold it.
It was cool.
I feel like I remember Krispy trying to telling you that.
Yeah, I felt bad. That's one of the
You
ones he
play it.
traded in for a Kurosawa DVD.
Yep.
It was a really good movie, though. That was really good.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
I watched it a bunch.
You know, you could have just
And
got
we're
that
back.
movie from the library.
No?
Oh, okay.
I hear
Nope.
Are we back? Are we back? Is this it?
there are like
Yes, this is it.
library. Like I was listening to a podcast and they were saying I would listen to audiobooks that I check out digitally from the library.
Digitally? What?
Yeah. So, because it's a digital audiobook that he checks out from the library. I don't even think he has to go to the
does that
library.
work?
How does
to do
that
it.
work?
I think they have like some sort of like online platform, and I'm wondering if more like libraries in Austin might have something like that.
But that just
It's
sounds like...
basically just free.
Yeah, that just sounds like free audiobooks.
But
Yeah.
libraries get to offer free stuff.
Yeah.
They're like a public
Because
works.
I used to go to the library and check out a audiobook on CD
Yeah.
and then download it all and then return it to the
Guys,
library.
There's a library in my neighborhood
27.
that I didn't even realize it was there. It was like it's like hidden in this like behind these trees in this like corner.
Nick, I don't think that's a library.
No, it's
The
right behind that one restaurant that we've been to on several
Yeah.
occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a library right there. And I've driven past it 100 times, but like a month ago I was driving, I was like, what the fuck? There's a public library right there. I'm never going
And Nick
there.
went in there and he masturbated furiously.
Seriously, all over
with all
all
the
the
other
books.
homeless guys.
Libraries are weird.
They are,
Dude,
right?
the library at my school, like you can check out iPads and shit for like 2 weeks at a time for no charge.
What?
Yeah.
How many of those do they actually get back?
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
a
people
modern
probably
library
jerk off
might
on
be
Oh,
these
fun
dude,
all
I
the
mean,
time.
well, you got to be a student, so I'm sure if you checked one out and then it never came back.
Students probably jerk off on those all the time.
Yeah, probably.
all the time.
All the time.
Probably.
I mean, speaking from
They
experience.
probably scotch
Dude, I
guard
saw a
those
guy doing it
things.
the other day in the library.
He's like, can I check this out? Sure, here you go.
It's like standing
Dude,
by
no,
the window.
I
I'm
shit you
done.
not. I shit you not. When I was in high school, I used to go to the library during like off periods, whatever.
To jerk off.
Exactly. No, I shit you not. I would sit in the computer. There was this kid who would sit like 2 or 3 seats down because they had a whole bunch of a row of computers.
Sure.
Would literally look at hentai porn on the computer and then wait
Print.
wait for the librarian to like walk out from behind the desk, send it to the printer behind the desk, and then walk back there himself and grab it.
That's...
What the fuck?
You know, hentai I've always found kind of lame.
And now,
But when it's not
now
even
everyone
moving,
just
then
has-
that sounds super
No,
lame.
Brad, you just print it, then you go...
Yeah, that's true.
You just jiggle the
Move-
paper in
moving
front of you.
pictures, yeah.
Just use your imagination.
Pretty much animation. Just make a flip book.
Okay, that's not good for the
What
audio.
is it about flip books that in 2017 are still amazing?
Flipbooks are never not amazing.
Well, it's because not everybody's an animator. So when you have the opportunity to animate something yourself and make something new, it's kind of cool,
Wow.
right?
I'm just talking about like the ones in like gift shops, and it's like, oh my god, the tiger's moving. You know, it's just it's still amazing.
Yeah.
2017.
You know, you go back and watch an episode of I don't know, Power Rangers or something, you're like, oh, I was a dumb kid. But like flip books, still impressive. 2017. Boom.
Holy potatoes, we're
Why?
in space. It's a video game that I've been playing recently.
Oh wow, good transition.
That's like that FTL-ish.
Thanks for
kinda
saving it.
It is similar to FTL, but it is more linear, I guess. There's actual story to
Holy
the game.
potatoes.
Yep.
game. So it's not a roguelike.
Correct. It is not roguelike. Yeah, it's not roguelike. The what happens on the planets can kind of vary when you go to them. So it's like FTL in the sense that you're on a spaceship and you can customize the spaceship and you can get different weapons and you can assign crew members to those weapons and stations and whatever. But then you fly to a planet and like kind of similar to going to a new like galaxy or whatever.
That planet looked like a watermelon.
Yeah, it does.
Like the design of certain things, like the ship design and the way the weapon.
Whoa. Okay, the animation style in this game is really cool.
No, the animation is pretty good. This game is like Meme the game.
So it's like Carlos the game.
No, yeah, it is. Carlos was watching me play it, but there was too much reading for him. But like everything is fucking like a joke. Everything's a reference. Like the people that inhabit this universe are all like vegetables, and they're referred to as
Wait,
edibles.
vegetables as in like.
Yes, exactly. No, they're like potatoes and pumpkins and carrots
The
and
game's called Holy Potatoes.
and cheese for some reason. There's like a cheese race of people, but like I have like there's a member of my crew that's an onion, and her name is Shallot Johansson.
Nice.
And I had a guy. Oh, I'm trying to remember them all now. There's one that's just named Barbie, and because she lost her boyfriend Ken. I don't know. But then like I came across like a Jorge Looney. Like George, essentially Looney, and then there's just like everything's Spuffy. She's a spud, like but yeah, she got everyone has a bio too, and she got tired of fighting creatures in the night and blah blah blah. Yeah, she's been with me since the beginning.
So it's just like a mishmash of different references.
It's like Benedict Cucumber batch.
See, I thought they were all going to be vegetable references. But
Yeah, no, they're. But then, like, I came across this random guy with like a bow tie, and he was in his box, and blah blah blah, and he gave me this thing. He's like, "Oh, you haven't met me yet, but I've met you," and blah blah blah. And later on, I encounter him again, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just meeting you for the first time," and his name is there's what was
a Judge Dredd potato?
Yeah, like Judge Spud or Spud Dread or something.
Dredd.
Spud Dread. I can't see that. Who was that one? Yeah, I don't know. Everything's a fucking like joke and reference, a meme. Ernie Mac. He's cheese though, like Ernie Mac.
Like Mac,
and
yeah,
anyway,
like
and I
mac and
encounter this whatever, and he's like, "Oh, this is Dr. What?" Instead of I don't know. It's like everything's a fucking joke, but honestly, it's fun though. Okay.
You're not a part of this.
And so unlike FTL, when you get like a new weapon, it's not like ready to go. You have to craft it. And so I have all these like weapon blueprints, and you have to spend resources to craft them. And so you have to go into the crafting room and put it on there and assign someone to craft it, and whatever. But anyway, so you explore, and every new like galaxy has an objective. Like there was one I was in where I was like, help me find this cat. And you find the cat, and then you actually get to keep the cat. It's like a cat that can teleport.
Is it a potato cat?
No, it's just a cat, and I named it Catastrophe. And it warps around. Also, my ship's name is Dickbutt.
Of course.
And but anyway, the main characters, Cassie and Faye, actually, they have a story, and they're looking for their grandfather, and it's kind of their adventure going out into the world trying to find their grandfather. But yeah, like I said, every galaxy you get to, there's another story, and you kind of learn more information about your grandfather, and you're trying to find him. And so you, in this new little area, you fly around to the different planets, and you have a time limit similar to FTL. If you don't go fast enough, what was the enemy in FTL?
Federation.
The Federation will catch up to you, but instead of the Federation,
No, they're the Rebels.
The Rebels.
You were
yeah.
the Federation.
Whatever. Yeah, you only have X amount of time, but this game gives you you have 20 souls. Or like days to get out of here before they catch up to you.
So is the core conceit of this game pretty much FTL? Like is that like the main?
It's similar to FTL, and you'll like I'm not into the.
Is the warp core conceit that it's kind of like FTL? Are you gonna get into some battles?
Yeah, I should have started this footage a few minutes in. I should have mentioned that to Chris Davis. I do. This is kind of me in the hub. Every new galaxy, every galaxy you do has a hub. When you go to the hub, your ship is healed and you have all the fuel you could want. Excuse me. But then as you kind of travel around, you start losing fuel, and you have to sometimes go back to the hub. But there's a pretty cool mechanic in this where you can get a tow to the hub, but it costs a lot of money. But right now I feel like I'm in that part in FTL where I think I've advanced too far too fast, and I feel like I'm a little under-leveled, and some of my weapons aren't doing as much damage, and enemies are doing a lot of damage.
So would you start over?
No, because it's that's kind of the problem with this is it's not like a one and done type thing. There's like a story.
It's like open ended.
I don't know. Like I guess I'm not far enough in it to know yet. And so this is me. I'm at the hub. I refueled and everything, so I'm going to travel off. So it takes a soul to get there, which means you often want to be like researching stuff. Researching stuff normally takes one soul to do. So I researched this weapon. So I got a new weapon, and now I think I'm going to equip it because it was better than the one I had. So in your bridge, you have multiple. I started off with only 2 weapons, but then I bought an upgrade for my ship so I can have 3, and I think you can have even 4. But you need a crew member to man each one. Like if a crew member is not on the weapon, it will not work. And yeah, there's different, like FTL, there's different type of weapons. There's lasers, there's like homing missiles, there's like this one weird one that like heals itself, which is, so in battle, like FTL, you target the ship, but you target specific, weapons, kind of like
systems.
Yeah, so kind of like an FTL when you would target a room. In this, you target either the weapon, a specific weapon, or the hull in particular. You do have weapons that can do area of effect, so they'll kind of damage everything around it and stuff. And this is me. So this, like FTL, when you come in Fury Yard. Yeah, so this is like a Mad Max type thing, a reference to Mad Max, this encounter. My quest was I was trying to get this item that the kind of space pirates had stolen, and I could have fought these people, but instead I was like, you had the option of saying, give me the loot, or you said like, blah blah blah, and you start acting like you're a pirate too, and they're like, oh, I was sent here by this guy, and it's kind of like FTL when you had those random encounters, and you kind of get to like a choice of stuff, and there's actually a lot of that. There's a lot of these random encounters where it's a lot of dialogue, like Carlos was kind of complaining about. There's quite a bit of reading. But yeah, it's nice that you can kind of talk your way out of scenarios, or the random guess, like, should I open this like random spacecraft I found, or should I shoot it? Yeah. And you never really know what's going to happen. So yeah, I got out of that encounter without actually having to fight somebody. And this is like another like random encounter. So every time you go to a planet, random stuff happens. I don't know how much of that is actually set. I don't know how much of it, if I were to like reload my save and do it again, would I encounter the same things? I'm not sure. I know this is definitely more linear than
Are you gonna fight this
FTL.
thing?
So yeah, this is going to be finally some combat against a carrot. And so yeah, like FTL, you have a charge that your ship currently has, so you have to choose which weapons. You can't use them all right away. You can buy upgrades from shops that will increase your starting charge and how quickly you gain charge. But usually I can probably fire off about 2 weapons. And then your shields, unlike FTL, aren't on or off. They're either on your hull or they're on specific weapons. And so the problem is, if a weapon gets destroyed, it's gone forever. Like that, just gone. And so if you don't have any weapons like saved up, like in your like supply, like you just are only down a weapon. And then the person, similar to Darkest Dungeon, has a negative status effect now if they get taken out while manning a weapon. And they'll have like, their aim will be lowered, or sometimes they won't listen to instructions or this. And so you have to send them to a sick bay, and it takes them, costs money, and that takes several days for them to recover from that negative status effect. But yeah, so you mean like early on when I was playing this game, similar to FTL, when you would take out all of an enemy's weapons, they'd be like, oh, I surrender, here, have some money. And I would be like, well, why would I do that? I just have to finish off their shit before they fly away. But in the farther I've gotten in the game, like enemies' shields are stronger and their ships have more health, and I'm honestly not able to take out their ship before they can get away. And so I've had it, but the problem,
target their jump drive.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that, unfortunately.
Or the bridge.
Or the bridge. Yeah. The problem is in this, some enemy ships, after you've taken out all their weapons, will start ramming you with their own ship, which can do a lot of fucking damage. And so I've kind of gotten to the point where if they offer to like surrender, I'm gonna take it. Like I'm like, it's not worth the risk.
Maybe I should play FTL.
Oh, yeah,
You never played FTL?
I have not.
It is one of the
Shut the fuck up,
finest
Nick.
games
Play
ever.
that game.
I have never touched it with my own hands.
Nick!
It's so good.
Nick!
It is the goodest.
Yeah.
It is really
Does this
good.
game have Firefly music?
So it has amazing music, I will say.
Like
The
better
music,
than FTL?
no, not as good as FTL.
I've never played FTL, but I have listened to the soundtrack. Like
It is
1,000
not.
times.
It is not as good as FTL, but it is actually very good music. I found myself kind of like jamming to some of the music as I was casting it the other day. You know, different areas have different music. You know,
What'd you compare
like
it to?
combat music, huh?
What kind of music?
It's kind of FTL-esque.
like Doom.
No, not like them. Similar to FTL, but just not as good. But it's still. I still will probably end up looking up the soundtrack and listening to it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's pretty good so far. Like I said, very memey. A lot of humor to it.
Carlos will be all over this. Right?
Is
Is that Han Solo?
Yes, so I found Han Solo, but I found him in a like temple. It wasn't. It
Doom?
never say Han. It never says Han Solo. It says a man with nice hair, and you find him in a temple with all these treasures, and you have to run away from a rolling rock, and then there's a crystal thing, and you're about to grab it, and he's like, "Wait, no," and blah blah
Is
blah.
that something Harrison
I
Ford
don't
was
get
known-
it.
Yeah.
Is that something Harrison Ford was known for when he was younger? Was his nice hair?
Yeah,
Yeah. And his dungeon crawling.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean,
Touche.
like I said, this game is like meme the game reference. Like I said, there's been references to like almost like any, like you said, there was like Spud Dread, and like there's so many fucking references. Like every single.
You had me at the Buffy reference.
Oh yes, Spuffy.
Yeah.
That's Spuffy on the far left,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Charlotte Johansson, Cassie
Charlotte.
Faye, and then Macintoshley.
That's fucking fun.
Or Mactoshley or something like that. But anyway, yeah, like every single character you encounter is a reference. Every single like planet you go to has some sort of like joke or
How
reference or
about
whatever.
the Terminator?
I'm sure that's probably in there somewhere.
Terminated.
Man,
I
Brad,
ha-
you should have been a writer for this game.
Yeah.
You are on fire.
But anyway, so that's Holy Potatoes. We're in space. Because technically it ends in a
Is
question
there a question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is.
Cool.
Potatoes
I've been
were
enjoying
in
it. I'll probably
space?
play a bit more of it. Yeah, I know this is a
sequel.
sequel to the Potato Weapons. What was it called? There was a kind of a I can't remember the.
We're a
Weapon shop.
We're a weapon.
Yeah,
Question-
we're a weapon
they all,
shop. Question
all
mark.
their game titles end with question marks.
Yeah, because they don't even know what they're doing. They're like,
Wonderful.
what? No.
Beautiful.
And it was like the potatoes were like the characters or whatever.
Somebody asked, Prince of the Universe asked, is there a Firefly reference? If there's a Buffy reference, there's got to be a Firefly reference in there
I'm
somewhere.
sure there is. I might have even encountered one. The problem is, like I said, I've encountered so many like references to things that I don't even remember. I think I do remember encountering one where like they had to be really quiet as like a ship passed, which is kind of like a Firefly reference. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe.
Hey, I'm just noticing, is this the art that we use this week on the left? Is that Yakuza or Nioh?
That's Nioh.
Okay.
Racist.
Which is
Could be
weird.
anything. Could
No,
be,
I mean, like, I can't tell what's in the background. It kind of looks like it,
it looks
might
like a
be
dead or
modern day.
alive character.
Yeah, it does. I was like, that doesn't look like Neo, but I don't think it looks like Yakuza
Lin Xiao
either.
Yu.
I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Weird. Anyways, all right. That's it for impressions. A lot of stuff. We had a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but there's also a little bit of news, right? Right, Brad?
Smidge.
Oh, we haven't even done news yet.
No, we're still in impressions.
Yeah, we've been doing impressions.
Focus,
on that.
Brad. Focus. But we're making good time tonight. What's I know you had a,
Valve killed Steam Greenlight.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, you know,
Well,
Steam has been a real shit
they
show.
took it out back and buried it right next to Half-Life.
It's good news, sort of. It's good because hopefully that means Steam won't be flooded with shit, and you might actually be able to find some decent games.
That would be nice.
Well, they're going to kill Steam Greenlight, which is great because it's just a trash heap of trash. I mean, like I was saying, I think in a recent week.
So what's the difference
that
between-
like 40% of all games on Steam have came out last year
yeah,
since 2004 when Steam launched.
yeah. Last year.
40% of those games since 2004 came out last year.
in 2016.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Because of Steam
Because
Greenlight.
Greenlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody can put up whatever shit they
Anybody
want.
can put up what they want, and it's all like the whole process of
Game system.
voting up games. That whole system has like been trashed. Now,
So what's the
now
difference
it's like
between-
all like bots and stuff.
So what's the difference between that and what they're going to replace it with, which is called Steam Direct?
Steam Direct? It's definitely it's not like a curated thing, but there are like harsher requirements, and they're debating like how much it's going to cost. But basically, you're going to have to like put down
They're
anywhere from like, you know,
they're adding a barrier to
Money.
entry. In other words,
yeah,
A bigger
money,
barrier.
like $1,000
You gotta
a
be
game,
serious.
possibly, yeah.
You gotta be
Which is
serious.
good because it means you're probably gonna weed out a lot of garbage, but it's bad because there are maybe some like upstarts, some like people who like quit their
Some
day
decent
jobs
games that
who
can't-
are really putting their heart into something who can't get it on Steam because they can't really afford that because that's a lot of money. You know, so it kind of sucks for those guys, but you know, there are other platforms out there like, you know, itch.io or Go. I mean, there's places where they can put out their games if they can't get them on Steam. But it is kind of a bummer. But you know, I think the plus side of Steam Greenlight being gone is much
More
better
consistent.
for the consumer.
Quality over quantity is going to what we're going to see more
For sure,
in the
for
future.
sure. I mean, yeah, for sure. I bet there are going to be like these. I think there are like companies that really do shit out a lot of crap that might be big enough to where they can afford to like get their shit on Steam.
So SMG says that it sounds like the entry fee for Steam Direct is supposedly going, like the developers would get it back once their game starts selling.
Yeah, but I mean, even like fronting that money,
Yeah, fronting that money is still a barrier to entry.
is still like a barrier to entry, which is
Still a
good.
big gamble because you could front that money and then never make it back.
Yeah.
It's true.
So-
But that's the same. That's exactly what happens with any game when you go into game development. That's what a publisher backs the game with money. That's where
Yeah.
that comes from. And yeah, sometimes they don't do well.
Speaking of which, this is unless you have anything else to say about Steam Greenlight.
No.
Because this is news as of like maybe a couple hours before this recording, which is why we don't have a overlay for it. But Resident Evil 7 was the best-selling game in the United States in January, and it recouped its development costs. So it is. They have
But
not.
this
They
is
have,
Capcom, and recouping development
Yeah.
costs versus like expectations is a much different
well,
thing.
it sounds like it hit expectations. They've been kind of coy about whether or not they said it recouped development costs. They have not been very specific about whether or not that includes, you know, their marketing for it and all that stuff. Because they had a pretty aggressive marketing campaign, I think. So, you know, they have not used the word profit yet when discussing Resident Evil 7, but they have said it did recoup its development costs, which is a good sign. It sold well. I still think I think at the end of the day, Resident Evil 6 may have still sold a little bit better in its first month, but I think Resident Evil 7 will have longer legs than Resident Evil 6 because the word of mouth up front has been way more positive with 7 than it was with
I'm
6.
pretty sure Resident Evil 6 is still like the second best-selling entry in the series.
Sure. But Capcom has, you know, they have said that they are pleased with the performance of Resident Evil 7. So, you know, and honestly, I feel like the only reason, I mean, Resident Evil 6 may be the best selling in the series, but people had a lot of high expectations going into that, and it sold so well based on hype.
Yeah.
Like the negative response after that, like is probably part of the reason why Resident Evil 7 didn't sell as well, is because people weren't about to be fooled again by Capcom. So who knows?
Fooled
It sounds like
again.
they're pleased with the reception.
Word of mouth is good.
Word of mouth is good, so you know there's that.
You know, also in the news here is there's going to be a season pass for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's weird, and I really hope this does not mean it's going to be like Wind Waker where they took out dungeons. I mean, it's obviously Zelda's never had DLC
I don't
before.
think it's that. But it's a little weird how they're doing it because you can't buy this stuff separately. You have to buy the season pass, from what I understand. And one's coming out in the spring, and the other one is coming out in the fall.
And each DLC is dungeon is a new
No.
dungeon, right?
The first DLC is just like a Cave of Trials, which is just kind of like, you know.
I'll skip that one.
That sounds
maybe.
like Baby Town Frolics.
Yeah, and it's gonna have it's gonna have like a harder difficulty mode, and then that Cave of Trials, and that's the one probably people don't really want. But in the fall is where they're actually coming out with a new dungeon and have some new story stuff to it.
What if that
But you
fucking
have to buy all of it to get any of it from I believe.
Oh
Man,
And-
that's horseshit.
and they have a
Tough
thing where
times
I
are-
think if you buy the season pass at launch, you get like some bonus items in Breath of the Wild.
That will
but
probably
they're-
be useless after 10 minutes.
No, they're like dumb. It's like there's like a Switch T-shirt
That-
that you can get for Link.
That's real?
Yeah.
He can run around the game wearing a Nintendo
Isn't this
Switch
kind? It's kind of
t-shirt.
gross, right?
That's really
Yeah,
dumb.
I don't
This
like
is
that.
kinda
It's not
gross.
just gross, it's also like dumb.
That doesn't
Like,
belong in a Zelda game.
dumb
It's
and
not even.
right.
It's not even clever.
Well, I
Like,
could see that in like a Yakuza game, kind of. I could see in a Yakuza or like a Grand Theft Auto or a Watch Dogs, something like that, where you're wearing like in a Zelda
a
that just
game
doesn't belong.
A
there.
game that derives some humor from self-awareness.
Yeah.
Like I don't think of Legend of Zelda when I think of
No,
that.
not
you
at
know?
all.
Like,
You know,
It may be, I'm kind of hoping maybe this DLC is just not good. and
You
I
know,
won't
the
have to
only
buy it.
reason that would be okay is if one of those items for Link was a sword that's a big dick.
I mean, yes.
That
of
would be
course.
the only reason that would
Let's
be
be
okay.
real though.
Oh,
Let's be
Saints
real
Row.
though. Zelda is going to be great. I don't necessarily. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty meaty game. I don't know if
Because the
necessarily
big dick.
because of the big dick. I don't know if I necessarily will need extra DLC. So unless that,
fuck that. I
dungeon,
want a Wii U shirt.
unless that fucking dungeon they release as DLC is like fucking amazing. Like if
I hope
so-
it is, but
No,
they've already said.
What if it's
Aonuma already said that this new Zelda's dungeons are not going to be as massive as.
But,
Don't
there's,
like
but
it.
there's going to be more of them.
I
think.
Well,
quality over quantity, in my opinion.
I mean, not
I
necessarily.
would rather have a Zelda game with like 4 really good dungeons than a Zelda game with like 30 like 5-minute
Well,
dungeons.
I don't think that's what they're talking about. I mean, they're gonna have the shrines, and there's gonna be like 100 of those or some shit.
Yeah.
But like the actual dungeons themselves, they did kind of
Like, maybe-
specify
like,
that
maybe
they're
they're
not
all-
as substantial and lengthy as the dungeons from the games that we.
Well,
we
like
used
think
to
of it this
play.
way, like Ocarina of Time. The first 3 dungeons you play as a kid, I think those are smaller in scope than the dungeons you play after you become an adult.
No,
Like,
they
the
are.
other temples.
They are.
So if we're talking like most of the dungeons in Breath of the Wild, there's more dungeons in Breath of the Wild, but they're comparable in scope to those early dungeons in Ocarina of Time. I'd be okay with that. I like those dungeons.
they're okay, but they're not really anything.
The only bummer about that would be is that like I feel like the one thing that Skyward Sword did well, and of course Twilight Princess, is like they were really kind of knocking it out of the park with their dungeons. It would be kind of lame if they had to scale that back, just because they basically chopped everything up and put them in different little shrines all around the world. It kind of reminds me of Wind Waker, honestly.
I'm gonna be really mad though if that DLC comes out and it turns like that dungeon turns out to be of like as cool as the fucking like the Ice Mansion and like Twilight Princess or something.
Yeah.
Like you have to play that.
I have a feeling that Breath of the Wild's going to end up feeling like a big Wind Waker on land.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Maybe.
Well, like
Possibly.
Brad's saying there's a thing here that's cool, and then there's a bunch of nothingness until you find the other thing that's cool. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like,
Yeah,
there's-
and
but
then
the-
everything's kind of spread out.
Yeah.
But the benefit that this would have over Wind Waker is that that's not just like empty ocean that you're crossing. Like that's actual world. Like you can run into like, enemy encampments or like other kind
Yeah,
of shit.
hopefully.
Like
But
out
the thing
there.
is, what made that okay in Wind Waker though was that was so fucking cool that you were just like out in the ocean and you could literally be out in the ocean and not see anything on the horizon.
for
Like,
sure.
and that was always a really cool feeling. It's one of the few games I can think of that had that like got points for doing like nothing. Like you could have moments where you were just out in the middle of nowhere.
we
and that was
talk
cool.
about Zelda a lot. You know something we don't talk about? Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks.
Okay, Spirit
those
Tracks,
games.
because fuck that game. Phantom
Yeah.
Hourglass.
Phantom Hourglass was a decent game.
No, they're both decent games.
It's just no one talks about it.
It's because they're
forgettable.
not like.
I mean, they've been
'Cause
overshadowed so many times by
They
now.
don't grab you by the balls.
Does anybody? Sorry,
They're
this is-
you
short
close
and
your
they're
DS
easy
on
and
there.
they're.
I just thought of another thing that I didn't really put in the doc because I didn't pay much attention to it. I just kind of saw it in passing, and I haven't played Watch Dogs 2 yet. But does anybody know anything about this? The update that changed the ending of the game and what
Man,
that's all about?
You were changing topics.
I'm not up to speed on that.
Of
no.
what?
They did it. They released a patch for Watch Dogs 2 which modified the ending,
Oh.
and I don't know how. I don't know what. I have
never
not
beat
played Watch Dogs 2.
I didn't beat
Yeah,
it, so
I
I don't
didn't-
know.
So
beat
I
it
don't
either.
know what people are thinking about. What people
It's
are
a
saying.
post ending. Oh god, that wouldn't be a first for
Apparently
Ubisoft.
it's-
Remember when they
apparently-
did that with Prince of Persia 20?
Apparently, it
So
kind
it
of
goes-
teases the future of the
12?
franchise or something.
New Dead Sec.
Okay, well, don't spoil it. Okay, you're okay. Thanks, Chris Davis. You're spoiling.
Watch Dogs. Did that
shit.
end up on your top 10 last year?
Me?
Yeah.
Did you watch my top 10? I didn't even
I
touch
just
Watch.
don't remember.
I did not.
Yeah, Nick never played that.
I played like 2 hours of Watch Dogs 2.
Then why are you so excited about the fucking ending?
Well, I'm gonna play it. I own it. I'm gonna play it. I just haven't.
You're
I'm
not
just-
going to play it. That's my guess.
He's
gotta-
not going to play
I
it.
gotta finish Dark Souls 3
Yeah,
first.
you got too much shit.
Dude, it's cool, but like It's okay. It's
Let's
okay
see.
if
Let's
it
see.
slips.
Who finishes? Is he going to finish Yakuza before you finish Watch Dogs
Why
2?
do you always
That's
have
the
to
hot
put
dog
pressure on this shit? Like, why do you always have
Because
to
he
put
lives for
pressure
this
on it?
shit.
just reminding
He's got to
you,
have
man.
the pressure.
Like,
I'm just reminding you. I don't want you to forget.
oh, I can never forget when you're around. I can never forget.
I know. I don't want you to.
Kind of like you'll never
like-
let us. You won't let us forget about our D&D pamphlets, Crispy.
Dude,
well,
that-
I mean,
I-
we shouldn't forget about that.
You guys have been ignoring me. You guys have been.
Hey, no, I put it in my bag. I'm ready to sit there in bed and read it. Just not tonight.
Good.
I'm tired.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry, I'm tired. I'm sorry.
Is there like a tabletop, like a pen and paper, like Yakuza style game?
I mean,
You can do anything.
Yeah.
You can do
Could have
anything you want.
D&D
Yeah.
be like Yakuza.
There's a we
Maybe
don't
we
have to
should have
talk.
done
We
that,
don't have
and
to
that
talk
would've-
about this right. No,
Yeah,
shut
this is
up.
not.
Sorry,
yeah.
we need to move on to our community segment.
Shut up, Brad.
Right? That's what happens
I think
next.
so. I think so.
All right, Nolan.
It's the community.
We need fucking music. This is not working.
It's like every couple of weeks we have this awkward pause, and then Brad says, "We need some fucking music."
All right. Anyway, this part of the show
If
we
you
talk
can
Just
make
about.
need like some sort of morning show gimmick, just anything.
If you
something we can bang on while Nolan is doing that.
if you're out in the what?
I'm married,
If you're out in
sir.
the community, if you're out in the community and you happen to know how to make some music, hit us up.
Someone did make a jingle of sorts, but it was not necessarily a style of that we would use at this.
Yeah.
It was good though. I liked it.
If you could make a little jingle for community and maybe news or something, that'd be cool. Use our contact form on the site.
Dark
Send
Souls
us
rap.
a message. We'd be interested.
Exactly. Anyway, moving on.
Dark Souls rap.
Moving on. We have one new patron this week, Allie. Thanks, Allie, for being
Allie.
a patron.
Oh, we have what?
What?
One new patron.
No, we have two.
Two.
Sonny repledged.
Sonny changed the pledge.
No, he repledged and then I think he changed it.
So he's not a new patron then.
Well, I mean, he was before, and then he let it expire.
Slaps.
His name has been said on the show.
Yeah, I know.
before.
We're saying
I
it
know.
now, so thank you.
I'm still really confused because I'm getting conflicting information about how many pledges we got this week.
We have one person who is now a patron who has never been a patron before.
Okay,
nice.
Allie.
Allie.
Yes.
I didn't mean to undercut Allie. Thank you, Allie,
Yes.
for your support on Patreon.
The Nioh rap.
Anyway, so moving on, let's do some
playing.
questions from our patrons. Any patron is permitted to post a question. We put up a thread every week before the show. Any question you want. First question this week from Nick the Batman. I just downloaded the patch for Watch Dogs 2. That was a whole 10 gigs.
What the
How
fuck?
bullshit is that? Should we limit how big patches should be? I don't think we can do anything about how big patches are.
I have to believe that Microsoft and Sony have some kind of like limit on
Possibly.
how much you can patch at a time, right?
I feel like there. I always feel like I feel like if you
There
limit.
has to be like so there's so many different like little like tiny details that they have to check off for certification to begin with. Like I can't believe that they would let a developer come with them and be like come at them and be like, hey, we're just making these changes, but the patch is 50 gigs.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, yeah.
I've always felt like I feel like that. Most importantly, I think there should be a limit on day one patches. Like if you have a patch that's more than like 5 gigs or something like that, I feel like there'd be like, nope, try again.
I don't think you'll ever
personally.
see that.
We'll never see it happen.
I think developers and everybody are just like too reliant on day one patches to begin with, and I get it. I get why they do it. Like your time between like actual day one and like when you get your final gold certification, like you still have like a fucking month, 2
And they
months
keep-
of
and they
development
keep-
time.
What
like-
should they do? I mean,
Yeah.
just wait 7 days and then release that patch? I mean,
I mean, a lot
they
of
just
the
want their game to be better.
a lot of the
Yeah.
times is some of that stuff is potentially game breaking.
I just means like it's like sometimes day one patches are so big it just makes you wonder without this day one patch the game isn't playable.
It's
Or-
possible.
I mean-
It's possible that there's a bug in the game that they didn't find until after the game went gold, and so there was nothing they could do about it. And so it's like it's not like it might not be a thing where everyone's gonna, but it might be like 10% of the people that play the game. Something that corrupts their save and everything's gone.
And, yeah,
you would
we've-
definitely want that day
And
one
we've had
patch.
this conversation about
I
people
know.
that are out in the out in middle of nowhere who don't have a great internet connection. They're just kind of stuck with whatever comes on the disc.
They are.
And that can be crippling
And
in
Chris
some
Davis
cases.
does have a point in regards to the size of patches. Often, if a patch comes out, it will overwrite previous patches, kind of like delete, because this new patch has all of the content.
Yeah.
That often happens. But anyway, I don't know. I mean,
He's on to something, but it's never going to happen.
It is really fucking annoying though when you want to play a game and it's like, well, you gotta download 10 gigs first.
yeah. Fuck. Next question from Mr. Green Toast: are there any mini games in a full-fledged game that you hate with a passion or love to see get more exposure? For example, I really hate the disco dance mini game in Yakuza 0. You have to move your cursor around the dance floor a lot before you actually click the assigned button in time, which causes you to either click too soon or too late. However, I love the telephone club mini game in Yakuza 0 for its tense but fun attempt at picking up girls via phone calls. Mini games and
My favorite video game is my favorite mini game in Yakuza 0 is the one where you just watch the videos of the real fleshy women.
The flesh one.
That's a mini game
is
now?
that a mini game or
Not
is
much
that
of
like
a mini game, no.
Well, I mean, I'd be remiss if I did not at least mention, of course,
He's
Triple
making
Triad.
some inputs, just not on the controller.
You unlock the videos for the women after you encounter them in side quests. So I went on this side quest and I freed this girl from this cult, which was this really gross cult, where
Pervy cult?
ultimately the cult leader was just trying to bang her. Show her a pee-pee. Show her a pee-pee. Anyways,
show her a pee-pee?
and when I beat it, I unlocked the fleshy human video version of her, and I got to watch it in the
Man,
little
you make that
porno
sound
booth.
You make that sound so grungy.
It
is.
I mean, I freed this girl from a cult, and now I'm watching.
Yeah, right. It's already kind of grungy, but he just makes it
So much dirtier.
way worse.
Just because you got to understand that you're watching a video of a human lady jiggling her chest around.
like a real lady.
It's a real video of a real woman
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm aware.
who outside the game maybe does even better stuff.
I can't think of any mini games off the top
Like
of my
butt stuff?
head. There's definitely been some kind of sub things in games that anything like that is frustrating. Can be frustrating. I don't know.
I really hated the Chocobo balloon racing thing in Final Fantasy X.
That
Oh
was
my
to get Titus's
God.
ultimate weapon. That was so and the fucking seagulls would hit you and knock off and he would barely not get it by 0.1
You
seconds.
want to talk about mini games in Final Fantasy X that I hated? The fucking dodge the lightning shit.
That was
Oh,
ridiculous.
God.
Dodge
my
it 200
God.
times in a row.
But you know what? I did it.
Ugh.
It was awful.
I remember
Dude,
people really
the,
hated the
one of-
Kimari one, the butterfly.
That wasn't
dodging.
that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Anyway, let's not spend too
Gwent.
much time on this
Come
one.
on.
That's
Gwent. That's a good one.
Gwent was alright, I guess.
That was a good one.
next
Triad.
question from
Umi?
Umsui.
What's-
Umsui.
Umsui
Do
joined
any
our
of you
Discord
own
this
arcade
week.
cabinets? Have you ever considered it? If you had the money, which arcade cabinet would you spring for?
I've never
That's tough. I mean, I think arcade cabinets have a nice kind of appeal to them. They look good, but I wouldn't want an arcade cabinet that's like a game.
Dude, I went to a house party recently. The guy had he had an arcade cabinet that he had customized, and it had
Mame.
200, 300 games, like classic games,
Yeah.
loaded on it, which is pretty cool.
So the only thing about those is you need to be careful because if you buy those ones, they're pretty cheap and they can break fairly easily.
Yeah.
I would say if I was going to get one, I would almost want to build my own and then have like a Raspberry Pi in there or something that I could just load like a bunch of really good games on. Like at my work, they had bought some arcade cabinets that were like, oh, they like Donkey Kong and like that, but then within a couple of months they were broken.
See, the thing is,
you have to know someone who can maintain.
I
otherwise
think
it's not worth
the
it.
whole arcade cabinet culture is a cool concept and whatnot. It's just not for me. Like I know if I ever spent the money on an arcade cabinet, it would sit there and I would never touch it.
A cocktail cabinet would be cool though.
Yeah, no, that's what we had at work. We had a standing cabinet and a cocktail cabinet. Yeah,
What is a cocktail cabinet?
that's the one that sits on the floor.
on
It's
a-
about this
a
tall.
little
It's
glass
like
table
it's like a
kinda.
little,
Oh yeah, those are where you
so you can sit on either
drinks
side and you can play duel against each other or whatever. Yeah,
cool.
they're pretty cool.
Get a ticket machine.
Okay. Burnsy asks, Mountain Dew flavored Doritos or Dorito flavored Mountain Dew?
Gross and gross.
Mountain Dew flavored Doritos were an actual thing, though.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
Shut
What
up.
the fuck does that
What do
even
they
taste
taste like?
Mountain Dew.
It tastes like Mountain Dew.
Yeah, just kind of
I
like
would,
Cool Ranch.
I would definitely go for Mountain Dew flavored Doritos over Dorito flavored
Dorito
Mountain Dew.
flavored
Yeah, it doesn't
Mountain
sound appealing at all.
Corn chip soda. Oh,
Cheesy,
that's before the seasoning comes into play.
cheesy soda. Cheesy soda is best soda.
On that topic, Kit asks, what is your favorite type of cheese?
Oh shit.
That's tough.
I mean,
I like just smoked Gouda.
So
okay.
HEB saw they sell a lot of like
cheeses.
fine cheeses.
Hold on, depending on the
got some
HEB,
cheeses.
like the HEB by my house has a ridiculous amount of like fucking fancy cheeses and
Yeah.
stuff.
fancy
Yeah.
cheese is good cheese.
Yeah.
We got some just.
If
the
you want to
other
talk
day.
about just like plain old like common cheeses though, provolone cheese all the way.
A nice provolone. See, I like.
provolone.
So it depends. Like if you're just eating it by yourself, that's like Parmesan is something that like if I ever go to a restaurant where they're like, "Would you care for some fresh Parmesan?" and they're like, "Just say when," and I just don't say anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, keep going."
Keep it going.
Like, do you need to get another block? You can get another block.
Just take a little chunk out of the thing. and give it
No,
to
I
me.
remember that one time I went over to your house
When
and
I
you
got
had-
some fresh
and-
Parmesan,
and you
yeah.
were cooking something. And I was like, I'll just keep
Oh,
eating
dude,
this.
like
Thank you.
at that one
Thank you.
restaurant, the Estancia or whatever, they have a salad bar that just has a giant wheel of Parmesan. You can just like hack off a piece of it. Oh, so good. It's dangerous.
You just whack off a piece of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
just fucking hack it up.
I don't like. I think honestly, my favorite, if it's just a cheese, I'm just gonna fucking eat some fresh mozzarella.
Well,
Did you
put in.
can't go
not
wrong
gooey,
with some.
though.
What? No, not good mozzarella is not gooey. What's gooey? It's soft. It's a soft cheese.
Yeah,
it's not
some kind of-
gooey.
I like.
I mean, yes, it generally comes in a liquid to like preserve it, but you just take it out and like pat it dry, and there you go.
I love cheddars, and I like Gruyere.
I like cheddar, but I don't like the problem.
sharp.
The problem with I don't like sharp cheddar.
I like
Mild.
sharp-
I like a
I
mild
really like
or
sharp cheddar.
medium cheddar. The problem with a lot of cheddars is they aren't like a lot of cheddar you get nowadays is like they dye it. Like cheddar's not orange or yellow or whatever. It's white, but they dye it to look that color. Like anything Kraft, that's not cheese. Like you can't buy something Kraft and expect you're actually getting cheese.
There was this really good like red wine. I don't remember what it was, but it was some kind of like red wine infused cheese that we got from HEB that was so fucking good. I don't remember what it was though.
I'm not a big fan of moldy cheeses though.
You know,
Yeah,
you know what?
that's a
Every,
little
every
adventurous
once
for
in a
me.
while, I like blue cheese.
See, that's what I'm talking. I don't
Yeah.
like.
Every once in a
I
while,
don't like a moldy
I like it on
cheese.
salads.
Nah.
But so that's different. Would you just eat a chunk of
Oh
blue
my-
cheese?
Probably not. But,
Exactly.
But I went to I went to dinner at Maggiano's or something like that, and they had like their like signature salad. It's like a blue cheese salad.
Yeah.
One of the best fucking salads I've ever had in my life. It was delicious. Oh God,
All right.
guys, my
Cheese
eyes.
gives me mud butt.
What?
Oh come on!
How much cheese do you eat at
Brad.
a time? You
know,
eat like
you
a pound of cheese?
Shouldn't it do the opposite?
Yeah, it's supposed to do the opposite. Like, first of all,
What's
guys,
wrong with your
I do
bowels?
like ricotta, like a nice or a nice like or ricotta. It's soft, like that can be
Ricotta.
yeah, or a feta. I like feta.
feta cheese is pretty good.
Yeah.
Guys,
All right, we need
this
to
is
stop talking about
slightly
cheese.
off topic. My eyeball has been twitching for like 2 days.
Probably should eat some more
pimento
cheese. What?
Pimento cheese.
No cheese. Anyway, from next question from Nathan. Hey guys, Valentine's Day was this week, and I'd like to know what is your most awkward or embarrassing love story you have, if you have any,
I can't share my most awkward, and embarrassing love story.
because it's already been captured on footage.
No,
That you know of.
I hope.
Oh, my first kiss. I was in middle school, and she wasn't a neighborhood girl, but she was hanging out in my neighborhood for some reason.
Trolling for dick.
No. I just don't fucking remember. I just remember I was like down the street. I don't even know whose house. Like we were just hiding out behind the side of someone's house, and we were like, about to make our first kiss. And my one of my brothers and their friends popped out from behind, like they were like hiding, and they burst out and they were singing the Big Red song. What the fuck? So kiss a little longer, hold fast a little longer with Big Red. That big red freshness lasts right through me.
How have I gone
Your
8
fresh
years
breath
without
goes
hearing this
on
story?
and on.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Man, what's the rest of the song?
We don't need
It
to hear the
doesn't
rest.
matter.
We don't need the rest
And
of the
then
song,
what happened?
Brad. We got it.
Did you stop kissing her or you kept going?
No, I stopped and I was mad.
Oh. I don't remember my first kiss very well, but I think it was one of my my second or I remember sometime in high school. Like it was weird. Like I hadn't kissed too many girls, and then like had this one serious girlfriend, and I wasn't very. I don't know. Kissing sitting down was awkward for me.
I had to be standing up.
Yes, I was like, this is. I don't know.
Can we stand?
And so like this is when we first started dating, and I was like, can we like stand up? Like I don't know. I think it was because I'd only ever like kiss girls at school, like in between classes and stuff like that. And you don't get to like make out on couches too much in school.
They frown on that.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I don't know. That was like pretty early on.
Me and my brothers would play Truth or Dare with one of our babysitters. And I think
Nice.
I'm pretty sure I kissed my babysitter when I was way too young to be kissing my babysitter.
Isn't it weird when you
Yeah.
look back? A lot
What
of
was his name?
I think the bigger.
How did the mustache feel on your mouth?
Oh god.
Yes.
Wait, should your babysitter have been playing that with you?
But hold on. The thing is, when you look back, whenever you were a kid and you got babysat by someone, you always thought they were like 20. They were always like 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
Every time you had a babysitter, it's like you were 12 and they were like 15.
Yeah, I like in my head. I remember my babysitter was my one of my friend's sister who lived like down the street, and I always remember her being. I was like, when I think back and I'm like, oh yeah, my babysitter was like, she's pretty hot, and I was like, nah, I think that she's probably like 14 or something.
Yeah, but in your eyes, that 14 compared to like 12 is
Yeah.
like so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we need to move on. And the next question from Matt Farrakhan, a rather simple question. For Noel, how do you like did I write my birthday present? So I will note that thanks, I got a few birthday presents. SMG got me Flame in the Flood. Chris Davis got me Black Mesa. And then fucking Matt Farrakhan comes along, and he gets me Darkest Dungeon, Hyperlight Drifter, and Vampire the Masquerade.
Jesus Christ.
When the fuck am I gonna play these games?
Those are good videos.
I know.
Played them.
I fucking know they're good. They were all on my wish
That
list.
was a solid.
Did you get something
set.
else?
I don't think
In
I
the
got
mail?
a gift.
From Jaeger?
Yes.
Yes, I did. I did also get a gift from Jaeger.
Just making
it was
sure.
a Dragon Ball Z like art book. It was like a book of like all this Dragon Ball Z art, which was really cool. But the thing was weird because I got an Amazon package and I was like, "What the fuck did I order?" I don't remember ordering. I was like, "Oh, okay, it was a gift." I was like, "I always freak out when I get like something in from Amazon. I forget I ordered it." But yeah,
My birthday's tomorrow.
Dude, I
hope
checked-
get
no,
some.
it's
I
not. You
checked-
fucking liar.
I check my front door for Amazon packages every day, even though I know I don't. Even when I didn't order something, I was,
Just in
in
case.
case I forgot something.
Yeah.
It's worse living with a bunch of roommates because there's always a package at
yeah.
the door, and you're like, "Oh, a package that has someone else's name
And it's
on
not
it."
yours,
You're
so
like,
then you
"Damn
just
it!"
fucking aced it.
So I just, like, punt it
and just
into the
fucking kick it
yard.
down the hall. But yeah, thank you for the games. I don't know when I'm gonna fucking play any of them.
Never.
Dude,
But
you should
now they're all
definitely
on
make
Steam.
time
Ever, ever,
for
ever.
all of
Hyperlight
them.
Drifter and Darkest Dungeon and fucking Flame in the Flood. I know all of them. I fucking want to play. I don't have time. Gonzo Loot.
Was Farrakhan like your mom? I never see Farrakhan on my streams.
Farrakhan said he was trying to get on my good side, and so he was trying to become my
Trying
favorite.
to butter you up,
Yeah.
as they say.
All right. Gonzo Lude. Brazier's recently released a video game porn parody
Oh,
called
Brazzers.
Brazzers. Sorry.
We'll make sure we get that one right.
Yeah, thank you. Called Metal Rear Solid: The Phantom Peen.
yeah.
And if y'all haven't seen the fucking
saw-
trailer for this,
Dude,
watch the
fucking-
trailer.
Dude, Jim Sterling did a review of
What hilarious video game porn parodies would you come up with? And I will say that it was super clever. Like it was the Diamond Dongs. Instead of, I don't know, like whoever came up with that, some pretty. There was a decent production value in that trailer, at least.
God.
But yeah, so what hilarious video game porn parody names would you come up with?
Sack.
We have to come up with the names.
I can't.
That's
That
too hard.
requires like creativity that I can't just muster.
Grand Theft Asshole.
Final Fantasy ass sticks.
What?
See, you got.
It's Sack Man, but instead of like one sphere, he's two spheres.
Dragon's Dongma.
Why are you all making like? Okay.
I don't know.
What?
Chasm.
It's just gaping. It's just nothing but gaping.
I don't
so
like
sorry.
that at all.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What's a good
Wow, that's way more.
I don't think we're gonna beat Chasm.
Yeah, that was a pretty
resident
good one.
direction?
Red Bed Redemption.
Oh, that's good.
What did you say?
No, that doesn't sound
Wait,
good.
Red Bed Redemption.
Yeah, my brain is going so many places right now. Oh, Ass Effect. I'm
Ass
pretty
Effect,
sure that's
obvious.
been done.
I think the better one is just
Castle Taintia, says Chris
What?
Davis. That's pretty good.
Titman
Wait, Hitman. What?
instead of Hitman.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good point. Good point.
I'm trying to think of like.
In Anus.
I think it's better to come up with the video game titles that are already porn names, like Chasm.
Breath of the Wild.
Super Smash.
Sorry.
Super Smash. But
sorry.
not Super Smash Brothers.
Ass Inscrete.
Ripto's Rage.
Dick Souls.
Dong Souls, I think, is a better, more subtle. Yeah.
Shadow of the Cock.
Ass in Screed. Yeah. Well,
You guys both tried that one. I don't think it worked.
Nah.
Yeah.
Lord of the Cock Rings.
Chasm
That's been a
wins.
thing for a
Both
long
ways.
time.
Chasm wins this one.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Womb Raider.
Oh, you see those first screenshots of Lisa Vikander?
Butt Raider. All right,
fucking-
moving on. We got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Laura.
Going off of the Castlevania Netflix announcement, what franchise would you like to see get a TV series adaptation? Would it be animated or live action? Didn't we get this question before?
No, not the specific question. Well, we had a question that was
Say it
specifically
again?
asking about, or someone had said something about, at the beginning they said they like the idea of video games being more of as a TV show as opposed to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's so many video games. Like, now that I'm thinking about that as a concept, there are so many games that I would love to see maybe try their hand at a TV show.
I could see something like The Witcher.
dude.
Like, there's plenty of story there that I could see them.
The Witcher, yeah. Dude, even something like Assassin's Creed would work 1,000 times better as a TV show versus a movie, I feel like. Like,
Tales
every
of-
season could be a different
Well,
fucking...
the problem with that is it would just have to have a good story, unlike what it had.
Tales of the
Hey,
Borderlands
I'll fight you on
should
that one.
just be a show. Like
Sure.
it shouldn't even be a video
No, I was
game.
talking
It
about
should
the
just be a
fucking
TV
Assassin's
show.
Creed movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't
But, like,
believe nobody here watched that.
Why?
Someone should have.
Why would that surprise me?
Someone should have bit the bullet just to talk about it on the show.
Maybe
Why
I,
didn't
maybe I
you?
will.
Because I don't even play those games. I mean, the ones I played, I didn't pay attention to the
I'll
story.
probably
so.
watch them or watch it, just not in theaters.
Yeah, I'll get
Who's I
like a
gonna
free
take-
Redbox
Who's I gonna take
DVD.
to see that with me in theaters? One of you?
I mean, if we would have
Guys?
gotten a little toasty beforehand, maybe.
It's a little
Sim.
late, but thumper.
Nice. Nice.
What about Jumper?
That is a
That-
video game based on a movie.
Wait, what? Okay. Can anybody think of games
Yeah,
I'd like to see
I mean-
do TV shows? A lot of potential there.
I think
Fucking Red Dead could be a Western TV show.
I think honestly, you could take a lot of video games. You could fucking make a near TV show. It just depends on how a proper use of the lore, and then creating characters that kind of flow through that. I mean, you could fucking do a Grand Theft Auto TV show. It doesn't matter.
Hell, Final
think-
Fantasy maybe might.
There are certain
Well,
games. There are certain games that are already kind of formatted in such a way that like adapting them as a TV show would be awesome. Like Mass Effect 2 is already like a season of excellent sci-fi television.
A lot of video games actually have been. A lot of video games have been actually turned into anime. A lot of Japanese video games end up becoming anime that are actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Devil May
I
Cry
remember
had
there
an
was
anime.
a Gungrave anime. You guys remember Gungrave?
All right, one last question. Let's just finish this day. This questions of the day off from Michael. Have you ever met someone face to face after talking to them for a while? Thought to yourself, this is the type of person who could possibly be a troll online?
Yes.
This is the type of person who could possibly be a troll online? Period.
Yeah.
And that was
Yes.
the question. Oh no, definitely.
I feel like I meet people on a weekly basis where I'm like, that person's.
That person's probably an asshole online.
But then again, then I actually see like internet trolls like on the internet, and I'm like, I can't like people saying so many like outrageous just things that are meant to just incite people's anger and rage online, and I read those things and I'm like, there's not really a human being behind that. Like what is that person? How does that person?
Because they don't care. Because no one's gonna fucking come at them.
Well, I know,
it's
but like
the
I'm trying to
anonymity.
imagine I'm trying to imagine someone who finds that entertaining, like going home every day, sitting on the computer and doing that kind of thing. And I don't feel like I've ever met someone
A
like
middle
that.
school nurse. Doesn't matter. It could be anybody.
I know, which is the scary part.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I mean, I'm sure I probably work with people who are probably trolls online. I mean, I don't, because I just don't have time. I mean, maybe I would fuck with people online.
If I had time, I'd be a troll.
But the problem is I'm too busy playing video games. I mean, I've trolled people in video games.
See, video games keeping us out of trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at that.
But yeah. Anyway, that's all the questions for this week. Thank you to all our patrons for asking questions. Any patron is welcome to ask questions. Just go on there usually a couple of days before the podcast, look for the questions post, and ask away.
And, of course, you can find out more about our Patreon campaign, which we just recently updated, as I mentioned earlier in the show, at patreon.com/4Player. I think you can also get there by looking at 4playernetwork.com/Patreon. Either way, you should get there. See, that cheese right there is too gooey for me.
Well, this is melting.
Yeah, I
you
know.
fucking ate
I know.
queso the other day.
I know. It's just, I like hard cheese.
You like non-melting cheeses?
He likes it.
I'm not.
Cheese hard.
I am less a fan of
That's
cheese as it starts to
disgusting.
melt.
You know, I actually in this I've probably talked about y'all before. I found a place that's kind of like a hole in the wall that has a good chimichanga, which I've been looking for a really
Damn
long time.
good
And
chimichanga.
it's like right next to where I work.
Where is it at?
On Parmer and Tech
I don't
Ridge.
think I've ever eaten a chimichanga before.
Really? It's
What about
essentially
the
a
chewy changa?
chewy
From
changa?
Chewy's.
It's not that you can only like do chicken in it, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, I only get one thing at Chewy's, and it's the chicka chicka boom boom.
A chimichanga, Nick, is essentially like a burrito, and then they deep fry it, and then usually they cover it in
I
queso.
probably shouldn't eat that.
Probably not. It's delicious. No one should
sounds
probably
great.
eat it.
The chicka chicka boom boom. What do you get at IHOP? The Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity?
I don't go to IHOP. I go to gyms because I'm not a fucking monster.
Okay, you missed my point. But okay.
He gets the clown face. Happy clown face. What is that thing called that I have?
Oh,
Anyway.
Second breakfast?
Anyway, that's all.
that is it for community guys
Yep.
this week. Now it's just all that's left to do to wrap up this episode is do the 4-player minute.
No.
I think we all know how that goes. We say our hype, sweat, fuck you, and thank you.
Not this week, my friend.
Of course, Brad always veers off of the beaten path.
It's all hype from me.
Man, he goes from like all fuck yous to all hypes one week to the next.
Yeah. They're very interchangeable. My first hype and my biggest hype for this week is the developers of FTL have announced their new game finally.
Yep.
It is called Into the Breach.
Yep.
And it is a like tactics game that it almost kind of looks like Advance Wars or Front Mission, but it seems like very smart and snappy and like very much like FTL in the way that it seems like they've sort of broke it down into a set of like smart systems, but they're doing a lot with it. It looks fucking dope, and it's by the people who made FTL, so you know it's going to be brilliant, and it's finally out. And the same composer for FTL is doing the music for this game, and there's some samples out there, and it's good. Oh, fucking Into the Breach! I can't wait. My other hype is just because I think we forgot to. I don't think we talked much about it when a bunch of gameplay footage came out, but I'm super stoked for Ni no Kuni 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've been watching
Is
more
that coming out
of
soon?
the No,
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but I mean it's coming out this year probably. I'm very psyched. I've been watching some of this like B-roll footage more closely of the battle system, and it looks like they're finally gonna nail it. You know, which I was not a huge fan of Ni no Kuni 1, but I do like level 5, and I did see a lot of like promise and potential there, and I feel like they're gonna realize it. It's kind of collecting these things that are almost like Pikmin that you're using in battle. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. There's no official release date on it, Nick, but it is this year.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
My third hype is next week. Psychonauts. Rhombus of Ruin comes out.
Yep.
It is a VR Psychonauts experience. I don't really know what it is, but it is Psychonauts, and I love Psychonauts, so I can't wait to try it.
I did bring Brad the VR today.
And Psychonauts 2 is looking hot. There's some footage out there, and it's looking sexy. And my fourth hype is also next week is A Night in the Woods comes out. Damn it. And I've been waiting to play that for so long. It looks so great.
From Finji?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Not Fin. Yeah.
Finji's publishing,
Oh, okay.
but it's I don't know who the developer is. It's just like a guy, I
Yeah.
think. But
Finji's publishing, sorry.
I can't wait. It looks really good. And my fifth and final hype is for my coupon, which I'm going to be using this weekend that I got for Valentine's Day, which allows me to play a video game on a weekend from sunup till sundown, which I don't typically do. I spend time with my wife, but part of my gift was I get a video game
Part
day.
of my gift is
I get a video
you don't
game
have to
day
spend time with me.
on the weekend. Well, no, she's gonna be
I
around.
know.
I need to build my sweat. I need to build a fort out in the living room somehow.
It shouldn't be that hard. A couple of sheets.
I have.
Yeah, but what
you
am I
pulled
gonna-
off the decorations and the Halloween.
Use a
the
tripod,
marathon really
couple
well.
of sheets.
Forts are hard.
You can, look, you can use these.
Are y'all having a slumber party in the fort while you play games? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
The slumber party.
It's always fun.
All right, am I good to go?
Yeah.
All right, my hype is for Night in the Woods as well. Played that at PAX South last year. Hilarious game. Really excited to play it. Great art style. Good writing. Pretty excited for it. My sweat. It's kind of going to my job. Like I kind of got like a new position at work, and it's been like it's a lot more work than my old position, but I like it more. So it's like confusing. Because I have a lot less free time, like both at work and out. I don't know. It's weird. But like I can't like I used to like watch like YouTube trailers on my lunch break and stuff. But I can't do that anymore.
Like on your lunch break?
I mean my lunch break's weird now. I don't know. It's like weird.
Oh.
Like I don't have a cube anymore, so I used to be able to like I can just watch something at my cube and whatever.
Dude,
but I
during
can't.
my lunch break, I take my laptop into our conference room and I just close the door. I'm just like, fuck you guys. I'm taking over the conference room.
And then I have two thanks. My first thank is going to go to all the community members and Chris Davis for the video games they got me. Thank you, and also fuck you, because now I have to play those at some point. No time.
Have to.
And then my other thank you is going to go to Bernadette because she got me like 5 board games. I don't know. She got me like a bunch of like escape room board games. And we played one of them, huh?
Like what? What are the names?
I don't remember. They're weird names. We played
didn't
one
know
of
they
them
made
with some
those.
people. Yeah, no, it's essentially like an escape room, but it's like you kind of the game trusts you to not cheat, kind of like it's. Oh, you have to solve this puzzle before you can open this container to get a clue for the next puzzle. I don't know. It was pretty interesting. And she also got me the expansion to Betrayal at House on the Hill that adds the 50 new haunts and new items and new all this stuff, and it's actually pretty cool. We played around to that. So I was like thank you, and also I was like mad at her, and it's like, God damn it, you got me like so much. But yeah,
Cool.
so that's it for me.
Happy birthday, Nolan.
Thanks.
HBD.
Yeah,
HPD.
Oh, God, my eye is twitching so hard
feels
right
good
now.
to be 24.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. My hype for this week is fuck it. You guys already said it, but Night in the Woods is one I've been looking forward to since we first saw it. What was that? That was like 2 years
Bernadette's
ago.
apparently in chat. Get back to work.
Damn.
Get back to work.
Go save those little children's lives.
Go and get.
Can you actually make
Get
me
outta
one of those
here.
egg rolls? Those are delicious.
My
Lumpia? I have some in my freezer.
Really? Can I have some?
Anyway, continue, Chris.
My other hype is for Yakuza 0 because I have been playing some.
Oh, really?
And I got to Majima, who is fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah, that opening
my God.
cutscene with him is
like that
something
whole
else.
intro, like Majima's like whole like half an hour introduction is just like, what the fuck is going on?
He's a manager of a cabaret, and the customer's always right. So even when they're like, "Oh, it's can't go
Yeah.
into it," it's a great game.
Oh, it's so good. Like, yeah, the fucking the rules of service, like,
Yeah.
and all that. Oh my god,
The customer's always right,
he's
even
so
when he has
good.
to fight them.
Hot towel, like, yeah, like,
Damn it, I want to play that game.
it's so good. It's so good.
Mark my words, I'll be playing that game this year.
Mark my words, I will beat it before Nick.
You have more of a chance
True.
of finishing Knack than you have playing.
Fuck you.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna order that game tonight.
Do it.
No.
Hot dog. Free hot dog from me.
My sweat is that we're all mortal. And,
shit.
and we're gonna die one day. and
God damn it, Crispy. You don't
I'll
have to-
probably never have played every single game in my life that I wanted to. And then my fuck you for the week goes to Ubisoft. Just come on. Just
For
for,
the-
being
for their
Ubisoft.
skeevy-
Their fuck you for the
Like-
week goes to you for calling them Ubisoft when their name is Ubisoft.
Ubisoft?
It is short for ubiquitous software.
But aren't they like a French company?
It is short for ubiquitous software.
But do you pronounce ubiquitous in French?
Yes.
They call themselves Ubisoft, so they're Ubisoft.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe it, but okay. Okay. Fuck those guys.
Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah.
Ubisoft.
In general, yeah.
Wait, is it my turn now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck Ubisoft.
All right. I have I have a couple hypes. My first hype is Robin's playing The Witness. And I didn't really prompt her to do this necessarily, other than told her I think the game is pretty dope. But she started playing it, and I sat there for 6 hours and watched her play
That must
through.
be so frustrating.
Oh, dude, she's picking up on things so much faster than I did.
Well,
Dude,
That's
she
not
found
surprising.
she found the shit. Like,
Yeah.
the shit. Like, she just started, like, triggering the cursor willy-nilly and just trying to, like, click on things in the world without even having, like, be told. And, like,
that's almost like. Does she play a lot of games?
yeah.
She plays a decent
But-
amount, yeah.
But, like, I sat there for 6 hours. The only thing that tripped her up was the same thing that tripped me up, and I think a lot of us here, was that one, the little tri piece that cancels out the other.
Yeah.
In the rock
That
area.
one's-
Like,
Yeah.
she was
Most
she was solving the puzzles, and then, like,
Not knowing
I don't
why.
know what I did.
Everyone does that.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when Brad was on that, and Brad was so frustrated, and I was trying to help him without giving him the answer.
One of y'all had to tell me what
Yeah,
the
I
fuck
think it was I
huh?
helped like you too, like without giving you the answer. Try like
It's the worst.
It
puzzle
makes
type
no
in that game.
sense until
Yeah.
someone tells you, and you're like, what the
No,
fuck?
the worst are the deletion squares.
no, that's not.
No, like the blue
Oh, yeah,
squares
the
that
blue
delete
square.
part of the Tetris pieces.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
fuck
tough.
Yeah, those are terrible too. She hasn't gotten there yet, but anyways, I'm hyped to watch her play that because I sat there and watched her play it for like 5 or 6 hours, and it was actually pretty fun. Getting to experience that game again through someone else is cool. My second hype is for, well, loosely E3, but more specifically, they started announcing press conference dates, and Bethesda is confirmed to have a press conference. And the reason I'm excited about Bethesda is because not only has their press conference been pretty substantial both years, but this is the first year where what the fuck are they showing?
I don't know.
Like,
That's a good
think about
question.
it.
Pray is
Like,
Wait, that
is
comes
this
out in
the-
June, though,
is this-
actually.
no, May.
May.
Is that May? Is this the year
Well,
we
that's
get Prey
before
2,
E3
guys?
then.
Is this the year?
No. Evil Within 2, please.
No, that's what I'm saying. Evil Within 2,
That'd be
but, like,
good.
but think about
Good.
it. Think about it. The only game that they announced that I can think of that has not come out yet or will not be out by the time we get to this conference is the Unreal Tournament that they announced last year.
Oh
But
God.
they're not going to do an
You mean
entire
Quake?
Oh yeah, it was a Quake. Yeah, sorry, Quake.
That's like blasphemous that you call it
I
Quake
know.
Unreal.
I know. I'm sorry. That's just kind of how much I care about that. But like they've had pretty stellar conferences. Doom is out. Fallout is out. Dishonored 2 is out. Prey will have been out. Like you got to think about it.
they're having a whole
What-
press conference. What the fuck are they going to
Yeah,
show?
they've got to announce stuff. And that like I'm really
New
really
Elder Scrolls.
probably maybe.
Okay,
New
just
Elder
because
Scrolls?
he has a speech impediment.
I wouldn't
does
be
not mean
surprised.
that
Elder
that's
Scrolls
something.
Skyrim came out in 6 years ago now.
Yeah. It could
I
be.
wouldn't be surprised
We
if
could
they
get
announced a new Elder
E3.
Scrolls.
I'm actually, like Brad said, I'm really, really, really crossing my fingers and hoping for Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
You know, Bethesda has proven themselves to be a pretty awesome publisher so far. My fuck you of the week, as many of you I'm sure have guessed, goes to Prince Lothric in Dark Souls 3.
Yep.
I didn't really get hung up there.
rage quit
I did.
so hard on that boss fight last Monday that I just cold cut my feed.
Chat knows.
I was
I
upset.
was casting when I fought that, and chat knows. Like I had a lot of trouble.
And
with him.
it sucks because like 20 minutes into this like hour and a half endeavor, I got him down because he has 2 life bars.
that you don't know about.
Yeah, you don't know that second one.
Yeah.
I got him down to like maybe a fourth of that last health bar, and I was never able to get there again. I just kept getting more and more frustrated, and it never worked out, and never got it back down to that far. So, have not beat him yet. I had to rage quit, and then right after that, I played another boss. I played a boss in Nioh. Same fucking thing happened. So my second fuck you goes to the boss. I think his name is Nioh, which is in Nioh. It's just like the lightning tiger chimera fucking thing. Yeah, fuck that. And but my thank you this week I'm going to give to the patrons who joined us for our maiden voyage of our bonus podcast that we recorded on Discord. We did the Resident Evil 7 spoiler cast, and we had about 10 spectators in there while we recorded it, which was pretty cool. And it's nice to be able to record that and actually kind of see what people are saying and react to those things while we're recording. It's kind of like a nice private mini podcast that we recorded with them, which was cool. And then, of course, it's available now to everybody. But I'm looking forward to doing more of those podcasts in the future because it was cool. So
Totes.
I think that's our show. That's our show this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys for being here, of course. 4playernetwork.com is the website. You can watch us broadcast games every single night at 4pp.tv or twitch.tv/4playerpodcast. And y'all are quiet. Anything else y'all gonna say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Peace
no,
out.
No, yeah. I mean, you kind of brought up everything. Discord, 4pp.tv. Don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes.
That's what
if
I
you
forgot to
can.
mention.
There's a
Beginning
new
of the show.
Brad Appleteat.
There is.
Apple
Yes.
Teeth.
Go watch.
Yeah, but seriously, like Nolan said, if you have not yet, we would love it if you guys would take a moment out of your day to leave us a review on iTunes. We'd appreciate it. Of course, positive reviews would be nice, but whatever. Just leave us your thoughts. We'd really appreciate your feedback. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching / listening.
No, and 4-player D&D coming up in a few weeks.
4-player D&D happening soon. We're having our preliminary D&D meeting
A week from Saturday.
a week from Saturday. So.
And Finn.